talk is money, honey. All we talk is money. All we talk is money. It's like bees to the honey. Honey, money, honey, money, honey. It's the SOSCAST, baby.
Welcome. Oh, look at that nice camera. Welcome everybody to the SOSCAST on Valuetainment, the sexiest financial show in the world. Look around. Look how much sex appeal we have, especially this young man right here. We'll get to know him in a second. Tim Sykes is in the house. This is where finance meets romance, the sexiest financial show in the world. My goal, my mission here on the SOSCAST is to help you guys out there get paid, laid, and do it your way. So listen, on the SOSCAST, we're going to be doing a couple different things. This is sort of like a call to action. Last week, Laura Padrinos was in the house, crushed it.
Yes.
It was all about what we can do to fix America, helping America. So to sort of like set the tone, sometimes we're talking money, sometimes we're talking relationships. That could be business relationships, personal relationships, lifestyle, everything that goes in relationships. But the one thing we're going to be talking about constantly on this show is American culture. What's going on in America. So whether it affects your money, whether it affects your lifestyle, whether it affects your relationships, we are pro-America. You don't have to be, one side of the aisle to like this show, but you have to love America in order to be a part of what we got going on here.
Yes.
Does anybody here not love America on this panel right now?
No, we love it.
Okay.
You're out of here.
Well, we have an Australian in the house.
Listen.
We'll figure this thing out, Amy.
I love America.
That's right, America. So anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Let's meet the guests in a second. But before we do, I need your guys' help.
Yes.
I need your guys' help. Malik, do we have the Minnect count of what's going on right there in the Minnect land?
Uh-oh.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So I'd love to get one of these TVs working, but I can almost see it on this side. We have something going on here at Valuetainment called Minnect. This is where you can connect with your favorite influencers, business leaders, entrepreneurs, just people that you want to get advice from. Now, I assume someone like you, Tim, your DMs must be flooded.
Yeah,
How often can you respond to a DM?
it's rough.
Rough to do. We're going to have to sign you up for Minnect, because if you want to get in touch with Tim Sykes, if you want to understand money, you want to understand trading, you want to understand philanthropy, lifestyle, you can probably reach Tim on Minnect, but we haven't signed them up yet. But in the meantime, the ones that are signed up for Minnect, we have a challenge right now. Now, Vinny Oshana won the first challenge. It was the first one at a certain date to get to 500. But the big challenge out there for my friends out there, I'm talking to you, is who's going to be the first to get to 1,000?
Oh.
It's a big deal. Now, Malik, can we see the current score of what's going on here?
Let's see. He's getting it up.
Where are you at? 8 something?
Here we
I don't
go.
know.
Drum roll.
Close.
Okay.
Okay.
Nat, help me out here.
Okay, it says current score. We've got Sauce coming in hot with 893 consultations.
Okay, 893.
Okay. we've
Tom's
got-
where?
Tom is 860.
860.
PBD is
42nd.
722.
Okay.
And
Vinny?
Scroll down
is-
for
scroll,
Vinny, please.
scroll.
Vincent Oshana, we've got
Then you got Vinny, and then you got the Tate brothers.
Yes, the Tate
okay,
brothers.
so listen. Right now, the battle's probably in the top 3. Maybe Vinny can get there.
He could.
But right now, it's between myself, Tom, and PBD. Here's my announcement to you guys. Guys, this is, number one, this is not a selfish thing. Those 800, and how many, 90-something?
93,
Yeah.
yep.
Those are 890-something people that we've helped.
Yeah.
Business advice, life advice, entrepreneurship advice. Hey, I don't know what's going on with my girl. What's your advice? Hey, Tim Sykes is telling people how to trade. Where can I find? This is all advice. So for now until my birthday,
Oh.
next week is the birthday
that's
show.
right.
Next week is the birthday,
Birthday
show.
show.
Okay? So we'll be there. It's a big panel. Maybe even Padrino will come and she'll bring some Padrino's Cube and we'll see what's going on there. Maybe we arrange that. I'm going to be slashing my prices. They're currently at $25 just for a question, $50 for a video, and then $180, I believe, for a consultation. $10.
What?
$10. Show some love. We're not reading any super chats.
Okay.
It's all going to Minnect.
Oh, I love that.
I want to know what your thoughts are, and what we're going to be doing is any advice that you have, anything you want to know, anything that you want to give a shout out to, whether it's PBD podcast, to Patrick Bet David, to anyone in the team. Some people are saying, $25 is way too cheap. Some people are saying $25 way too expensive. Here's the deal. For 1 week and 1 week only, we're slashing our prices here on the
I love
SOSCAST.
it.
$10. Help me get to 1,000.
Let's do it.
And what we'll be doing is the people that are Minnecting that saw this thing,
Oh.
that do it on Minnect, you're going to get a shout out next week on my birthday.
Ooh.
Nat's going to be reading it out loud every single one, and your message will be read to the world, okay?
Oh, I love
So
that.
connect with us on Minnect, but more importantly, connect with me on Minnect.
I
We
love
got some games
it.
to win here, guys.
Yes, I love
This is
it.
Power of the Bully Pulpit.
There we go.
With that being said, in a second, we're going to meet all our beautiful guests, especially Tim Sykes. But here's a quick word from our sponsor, not Minnect. This is Nextiva. Go ahead.
Got it? There we go. Audio.
In your life. Now, whether it's business or relationships, we all know one thing. Communication is key. Not only how you communicate,
Didn't start
but
on
the
time.
tools you use in order to communicate. So for me, I made my money in the financial industry making cold calls. I was dialing for dollars. I was smiling and dialing. That was my life. Now, many entrepreneurs out there, I know you're running your business from your cell phone. Your phone calls are next to your personal calls. Your business texts are next to your personal texts. It gets very messy. So when I came across Nextiva, I said, oh man, I gotta check this out. So here's how it works. With Nextiva's business communication system, you can create phone numbers in different area codes. So if you're a real estate investor or the insurance business, dialing for deals, Nextiva will help you get more answers and close more deals. You'll get unlimited calling, business texting, and an auto attendant, voice analytics, and many more features that will make your business look as polished as a Fortune 500 company. And they even take it a step further by letting you manage all conversations and engage with customers and teams with one powerful, easy-to-use app called Nextiva One. No more switching between a dozen different apps to get the job done. Nextiva is one of the most cost-effective, affordable, and efficient ways to grow your business this year. To try Nextiva, go to trynextiva.com/SOSCAST to get up to 50% off your plan. That's also linked below in the description. Again, that's trynextiva.com/SOSCAST to get started today with 50% off. Remember, communication is key. Check out Nextiva. In 2024, all right, cool. Thank you. All right, great job to the AV team.
Nextiva.
Awesome. Let's get into the show. Here's some of the topics that we're going to be discussing today, and then we're going to meet the panel. Number one, I mean, can't ask for better timing with Tim Sykes here, understanding the markets, here, understanding your money. The Dow and the S&P 500 just reached all-time highs this past week.
Let's go.
So if you're an investor out there, your money looking good, my friend, as they say down in Little Havana, okay, at Padrinos. So the S&P, the NASDAQ. Then we're going to be discussing which president in the last 20 years has been the best for the markets. Might surprise you. And we'll explain what this means for your money, your 401k, your Roth IRA, your index funds, your mutual funds, your penny stock account, whatever it may be. Tim's going to help us break that down. We'll be discussing what is known as the Fear and Greed Index. And you know what? Padrino, for all she knows about what's going on in the world, she's going to learn some stuff today.
I'm going to learn.
That's right.
I know nothing.
Speaking of money, nearly half of young adults are quote-unquote obsessed with being rich. We'll explain what that means. I know that's more Amy's vibe. She's obsessed. Half of U.S. high school students will take a personal finance class for the first time in their life. That's a big deal. Nat could have used that when she was in school.
What, personal finance?
Personal finance class.
Yeah,
Did you ever
in
take
school.
one?
No, but I did sell life insurance, and that was kind of my financial education.
But I did sell drugs, and that usually helped me with understanding
that's
that.
a little bit
all right.
different. Okay.
That's fine. Then we'll talk about who's doing it right out there, who's not doing it right. We'll talk about the gurus and the fake gurus. And then we'll talk about America's desired salary. Don't hold out, or hold out until you get a raise, or hold out until you get a new job before you find out what Americans are basically asking for as far as the salary goes. And then we'll end with giving back and philanthropy. And I know that's something that you're big on. So let's meet our guest, Tim Sykes. Tim Sykes is in the house. Entrepreneur, trader, philanthropist, advocate, penny stock expert. The story, the legend of Tim Sykes, is that you took $12,000 from a bar mitzvah money and turned that into $1.6 million day trading in college. How much of that is correct?
100%.
Wow.
My parents are here to verify it. They gave me control of my bar mitzvah money. It was just sitting in like savings accounts, wasn't doing anything. They thought I would lose it all in the stock market, but I got obsessed with, just patterns and focusing on any kinds of stocks. I didn't choose penny stocks. No one wants to go into penny stocks, but they were cheap, they were affordable, and volatile. And so I started growing my account. So senior year of high school, I made $100,000, which was crazy.
Wow.
Freshman year in college in Tufts, I made $700,000. Got out of Tufts because it was too cold and terrible. Moved down to Tulane, drank a lot, kept going.
So, you know, when I think
going.
of penny stocks, what do you think of? You think of the Wolf of Wall Street,
Wolf of
basically.
100%.
Cold calling, they're doing their thing. But you were actually doing it, but just in your dorm room.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I unwittingly rode a lot of these pumps early on, not knowing why they were going up. I didn't know about boiler rooms. I mean, this was back in 1999. So no one knew about boiler rooms. No one knew about how it worked.
No one had cell phones, basically.
Correct. So that was actually my first $100,000 day. We'll get into that. The
Wow.
wannabe cell phone company. But I didn't know why these stocks were going up, but I would buy a penny stock that was up 10, 20, 30% on the day into the close. The market closes at 4 p.m. Eastern. And I saw a pattern. They would close strong and then gap up the next day and go up like 10, 20% the next day. And it happened again and again and again and again. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
As it turned out, and I didn't know this at the time, boiler rooms got exposed in 2001, 2002, like 2 years later. But I was riding these pumps as boiler rooms were pumping them up at night. Boiler rooms called during dinner time when people were home. So they would put their buy orders in the next day. All the buy orders would stack up. The stocks would gap up. I didn't know this at the time. I was just like, oh, I'm a genius. I'm seeing a pattern.
Would you like to give a public announcement or thank you to
anything.
Jordan Belfort, to Wolf of Wall Street? All that fraud he was doing, unbeknownst to you, hey, you're capitalizing on
I
it.
did his podcast and I thanked him.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Look, he pumps it up, but it's, you know, whether he's pumping it up or any other wannabe Wolf of Wall Street, or whether it's Reddit, you know, like
Wall Street
you know,
Bets,
Roaring Kitty.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
care, even if it's a hot trend, right? Like crypto is being pumped up, AI is being pumped
Right.
up. I just ride the hype. So, you know, now I teach, and it's like I ride the hype. I just never believe it.
So we're going to get into all this and then some, guys. Brace for impact. Some of you guys are saying, oh, we want more of this.
Yeah.
And some people are like, dude, I got no clue what Tim Sykes is talking about. We're going to find a happy medium right here.
Good.
So, you know, one of the things I've learned during crypto, and remember it hit me, when my Uber driver, I Uber everywhere, buddy.
Yes.
Everywhere. I'm Ubering everywhere. And my Uber driver, who can barely speak English, hey, do you like crypto, bro? I was like, well, what? He goes, yeah, I got a good crypto account for you to invest in. Now, I'm in Miami, so you know how it's Cuban, it's Venezuelans. Whether he speaks English or not, he's a crypto enthusiast / Bitcoin expert all of a sudden. I was like, I got to get to my point in 15 minutes, buddy. Stop the hustle, stop the pump and dump. He's like, let me tell you something. You got to get to the Dogecoin, bro. That's where it's at. So, you know, there's a famous quote. They say, buy the rumors, sell the news, right?
Yeah.
So when everyone's like whispering about things, yo, did you hear about this? It's like, that might be a good time to invest.
You go
when
throughout-
everybody, including your Uber driver, is like, yo, did you hear about Dogecoin, bro? Get out.
You look
what do you
through
say for that? Yeah.
No,
Right.
100%. You look at history back in like the crash of 1929, there were a lot of people who were polishing shoes, and they always gave out stock tips. And you're like, what do you know? You're polishing shoes. And I'll tell you, what's the day, week, all-time high of Dogecoin? There's one day. What was happening that day? Do you guys know it?
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know the demise of Dogecoin was when that Elon went on to SNL.
That was the all-time high.
Exactly.
Leading up to that, everyone's like, Elon's going to go on Saturday Night
Yeah.
Live. This is going to be amazing. It went up in anticipation of that.
Yeah.
When he started talking, crashed.
Wow.
Never came
Do you
back.
remember what happened exactly? He was on the Weekend Update, and they're like, it was Colin Jost and Michael Che, and they asked him, like, so Dogecoin, like, what's Dogecoin? And he's like, well, Dogecoin is a, new experiential situation in the crypto world. They're like, okay, cool. So what's Dogecoin? And he's like, well, Dogecoin is a new crypto magnificent account where you can basically, and they're like, awesome. So here's another question. What's Dogecoin? And he's like, I don't know, bro. They're like, so it's a hustle. It's a scam. He's like, it's a hustle. They're like, all right, great. We got it. Dogecoin that day plummeted. It's never been the same.
But here's the thing. He could have said anything. He could
Yeah.
have said this is going to be $1 trillion thing. The hype was so big.
Yeah.
This happened just a few weeks ago with the Bitcoin ETFs getting approved.
Oh, yeah,
Everyone's
by
all
BlackRock
excited.
and everything with that.
Crypto's down 20% since.
Yeah.
So you look forward to these hype events and then you sell into them. Or you can
It
short
reminds
sell
me of that quote, when people are greedy, be
Yes.
fearful, and when people are fearful, that's when you need to be greedy. That's the
Well,
best way to
great
capitalize.
segue, because we actually have the Fear Greed Index. Don't pull it up yet right now. So that's Warren Buffett.
Yeah, Buffett.
Thank you, Amy, for basically hosting the show. I appreciate that. This is what I was getting to this.
You're
I'm not-
welcome. My
this is
pleasure.
awesome. Thank you for going. So Warren Buffett says, be fearful when people are greedy, be greedy when people are fearful. Best guess right now. So it's 0 to 100. Now, Nat, I already know you're going to be like, I don't know. Pick a number.
Okay.
Greed is 100.
Okay.
And 0 is the most ultimate fear. So super, super, super greedy is 100. Super, super, super fearful is 0. Got it? The market, if it's right in the middle, it would be 50%. Like people are equal. Where do you think the fear greed index is today? We're going to let Tim go last because he probably has the answers, but it changes. Fearful or greedy? Greedy's 100, 0's fearful. What do you got?
I think it's more leaning towards the greedy side.
Greedy side. So give a number.
I would say maybe 70%.
70%. Laura Padrino. By the way, check out Padrino's Cuban. It's amazing food. You got to check that out all throughout South Florida. Platinos and arroz con pollo, the best Cuban food in the world. Anyway, where do you think it's at, Laura?
Thanks. Okay, well, I'm going to go the opposite direction just because of election year, uncertain times. I don't know. COVID, the world is scared, maybe more closer to the fear side. I don't know.
Okay.
15, 20?
15, 20.
Okay.
Give a number.
Throwing it out there. I had to give
Give a number.
Oh, 20.
Is that your final answer? I feel
Sure.
like Regis
Yeah,
Feldman
yeah,
over here.
yeah, okay.
Malik, you're going to have this ready to rock, right? Amy,
I don't know.
greed fear index, which you so eloquently brought up.
I mean, it's a very famous quote. I've heard that quote literally for like the last decade of my
Yes.
life. So far as the actual numbers and statistics, I have no idea. But what you said, I would probably be inclined to agree. Probably around 30%
She's
would
at
be
30.
my estimate.
So we got 20, we got 30, and we got 70. Nat on the other side. Tim, you're an expert, but this moves all the time.
Help us out.
I mean, this is a general question.
Yes.
I'm an expert at very specific
Yes.
things. But I would say, technologically speaking, we're just starting the AI boom, the cyber security boom, like robot boom. Election years are actually very positive in the stock market. Last
what
year
I
was an amazing year in the markets. I'll say that we're at 75.
75%
Let's go!
greedy.
All you haters out there
Okay.
thought I'm stupid.
So-
Look at that.
This is, can we get a drum roll, please? Malik, you're
Greedy
gonna
I
hold
isn't
do
this
good.
not
Greedy
claim
isn't
to know
always good.
anything
greedy
about
could be
this.
good or
That's
bad.
right.
Again, be fearful when people are greedy. Be greedy when people are fearful.
I don't know.
Be both. Malik, can you show the results of the fear greed index
Let's see how much
right
I know
now?
about-
That's
We
right.
are now at extreme
Claps for
greed.
Nat. Claps for Nat.
So Tim Sykes, the expert, the trader,
Yes.
he knows what he's doing. The entrepreneur, he said 75.
You were right. Like,
He
really
won.
close.
So Tim won.
Yeah, Tim
but
won.
Nat,
Yowza.
you
Back
were
you
there.
up. I back you up.
You were there,
I was
Nat.
there. That's
If there's
right.
anything I know about my girl Nat.
I'd be
So
shocking you.
you're in
Shocking you
third
guys.
place, and Laura, you are
I
now.
told you, I know
that's
nothing
it. You
about
have now
this.
been
Sorry.
given for tribute. I'm sorry for the greed tribute. It's okay, but this is great. So
I know what I know.
Why do you think it's greedy right now of all days? By the way, this moves. We checked on this a few months ago. It was super fearful. Why do you think it's greedy today?
Well, the markets are breaking out. We're at all-time highs. So
Yep.
that's obviously very positive. Election year is
Right.
usually positive. Last year was positive. Technology is booming. Like
Right.
Amazon, Uber, all of these companies are really moving forward. And we can't even understand. Like I just saw the other day, Amazon has 750,000 robots now, which is like 10 times what they had 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like literally robots, hundreds of thousands. Soon there will be millions of robots. So that's making it more efficient. Like it's just a cash cow for Bezos. So that's very good for business and robot related companies.
I don't know, Tim. When I hear that there's 10,000 robots, my greed would go to fear real quick.
That's what I'm saying.
So you're fearful of like
Yeah.
manual labor jobs that are going to get replaced, but
Yeah.
in terms of business efficiency and profitability,
Right.
that's huge. This is how Amazon, Uber, Tesla, all these companies are.
Thank you.
guess
booming.
that
Thank you,
makes
Tim
sense.
Sykes, for calming my fears. I don't need to fear robots. I don't need to fear. You don't need to fear
Embrace
AI.
them
Embrace
until
the
they
space
destroy
race.
us a few decades
Until they
later.
kill us all.
You
Okay.
embrace them.
Embrace.
Remember this interview, robots. Please look kindly on me.
shows
Well,
shows how much you
I'm
embrace
pro,
Jesse.
pro robot. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Let's get
kill
into
me.
our next topic. Just real quick. This is why I think you're going to be comfortable on this panel. You let me know how much validity this has. Because, Tim, you're a guy. You've got a bio. You're out there. People know you. In 2012, Tim created the Miss Penny Stock contest, which was a financial beauty pageant for his company. It's with such notoriety and humor that Tim's parents, good-looking folks over there, are laughing their heads off right now. Why are they laughing? What's going on? What happened with the Miss Penny Stock contest?
You know, you try different stuff. Like I'm in penny stocks. Most people hate penny stocks.
Yeah.
They think it's all a scam. So I was just trying to get really attention to my strategy.
Nice.
I didn't have any millionaires then. Now I have created several millionaires from scratch.
Amazing.
So back then I was just trying to get attention, and I was trying to make it fun too. Like finance can be fun.
Right.
You know, I brought some models on CNBC at the time, and we're trying to make it fun. CNBC wasn't a fan of that, so.
well,
Finance
I
meets
was-
romance.
I
we're
was
gonna have
rebelling.
we're gonna have fun today, guys.
I was
because
rebelling.
here's what's great here. I would say that we have a financial expert in the house here. Straight up financial expert. I would probably classify you as a trading expert. Is that fair?
Yeah, not investing. I have no patience.
Okay, gotcha. Trading, day trading, market trading.
Yeah.
Now, I'm on the other side of the thing. I'm not a day trader. I'm a decade trader. You've heard that?
Yeah.
So don't day trade, decade trade, meaning I'm a long-term investor, buy and hold. It's the whole hodl thing. I would consider myself a personal finance expert. You're making 50 grand, you're making 100 grand, you're making $500,000. I can optimize what you're doing with your money. So we have different things.
Yeah.
But these ladies, Nat is a former life insurance exec. Now she's running recruiting and HR at Valuetainment. On the side, she's helping us produce this show here.
Yay.
She's doing her thing. Laura Padrino, classic Cuban Americana, wife, mother, entrepreneur. Okay?
Yeah.
Amy, she's from Australia. She's confused on her accent sometimes.
Amy's also been trading the foreign exchange market for nearly 7 years.
There we go.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Two experts. on
Amy's
the
bringing the
panel.
heat today. She's spicy. But today, the good news is we're gonna remix what Tim created, and today we're gonna
Oh gosh.
crown one of you guys
Oh Lord.
the
No,
new
don't do
VT Miss Pennystock
Oh, wow.
2024.
I don't-
Okay, it's been
Nice.
12 years later. Guys, there's nothing you need to do. Stop getting all down on yourself.
I'm excited.
Just
Answer
contribute to the show and
Yeah.
have some fun. Bring some value. Now, based on that
And entertainment.
fiery response, letting us know, like, you fuck around, find out vibes, now you're favored. You're the favorite right now.
I mean, it's going to be really embarrassing if I lose now.
And that's my point. Okay, Nat, I'm not going to lie. Based on a few shows ago, you'd probably be the least favorite.
Oh, well.
But
Look at me today.
you've been delivering nonstop
Yeah.
in the financial world.
I have. I even won the
So
game
you're the
last time.
second
knew what you
favorite.
did once.
Okay.
And Laura Padrino, who, if you listened to her last week, she'd be the favorite on any podcast. She would go on anything. But you're the least favorite. What do they, you're the underdog.
Who's going to decide?
in
100%
America?
underdog.
You know who's going to decide?
We had an audience
Tim.
decide. We did
We're going to
voting.
let the audience
That's
decide.
it.
Oh,
That's
phenomenal.
it.
Malik.
Democratic America.
I don't
Malik,
do well with judgment.
can we get our audience out there? Who would they nominate? Nobody's answered questions yet. We're going to get into that. Who do they think is going to win the updated version of Tim Sykes' Miss Pennystock?
Oh.
Call it Miss VT Pennystock. We'll find,
Penny.
and we're going to get a crown. We're going to get you a whole bag of pennies.
We had
You're
a
gonna have-
crown. I
you're
went
gonna
to
have
Walmart and got a
hundreds of
crown.
pennies.
Go.
We had a good
Tim
little. We had a good crown.
And you know who's gonna put the tiara on the
You.
woman?
You.
No, not me.
Oh.
Your father's here, bro. That's the guy.
Good.
That's the guy.
He needs
Should
excitement.
we bring him up here right
Yeah,
now?
he needs excitement.
Get
in his
him up
life.
here real
Say hi,
quick.
come
Dun,
on.
dun,
Let's go. Do you want both your parents up
Dun,
here?
dun, dun, dun,
Okay.
dun, 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 dun,
Let's
dun,
go.
dun,
Bring them
dun,
both up
dun,
for a
dun.
second.
Come.
Bring them up here.
You
Okay.
can come right up, yes.
Come right behind Tim because we
Come
want to
on
get
up.
the people. These are Tim Sykes' parents
not
in
good.
the house.
Yeah.
Come around this way, if you will.
I like it. Star Wars music?
Bum,
Yeah.
bum, ba-da.
That was
Okay.
random.
Okay.
There
we go. There we go.
So, Tim, give us their names. You're going to have to do the
This is Joanne and Joel.
Joanne and Joel, J and J. Okay.
Yeah.
Easy.
Now,
it.
are you guys totally comfortable with giving the tiara out of who's going to be the Miss Pennystock?
You know who should win?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right here.
That's
Mom's
Mama.
gonna win?
That's,
Oh, we
that's
got a
Mama.
new
No,
horse
no,
in the
no,
race,
she's
ladies
out.
and gentlemen.
Yes, it's Mama
We got a
Penny's
new
daughter.
horse in the race.
Not in the
So,
race.
here's what I want to know, just so you can give some credibility. Give a quick mic check, Joel.
Say penny stocks.
Say penny stocks. Joel
There we
and
go.
Joanne. Joel and Joanne?
Careful with them.
Okay. Joanne, Joel, we're gonna start the show in a second. If you could tell the audience out there one thing that they should know about your son, what he's been able to do in his career, what he's been able to do to your health. One of the things I say is the biggest flex you could possibly have is retiring your parents, or basically changing your parents' life. All right, a lot of people want to change their kids' life, but if you could change your kids' life and your parents' life, unbelievable. What should people out there know about Tim?
I think he's the most amazing son.
But every Jewish mother says that. So you gotta give me something better than that.
No.
Okay.
No, he really is amazing.
Tell me what.
He was my miracle baby. And it took me a long time to give birth, to get pregnant, and he's the best son that any woman could ever have.
Amazing.
No, he is. He's compassionate, he's generous, he's kind, and he's very smart, and he has everything going for him.
Awesome.
Okay?
that.
That's
Tim, you married, single, lady? What you got?
Single.
All right, the ladies out
That
there.
was a commercial, I'd
Hello.
say.
How about you,
Come
Dad?
on.
What would you want to say? What would you want to add?
Yeah, look, he followed his dreams. And I think that's what every parent wants their kid to do, right?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Is to follow their dreams.
Short, sweet, and simple. That's
it.
Joel. But that's
love
Joel
it.
for you, not a talker.
Beautiful.
No,
Not
the
a
miracle
talker.
baby.
Oh,
I love it.
Wedding
Awesome.
crashers.
She's the best on camera.
She's the best.
Okay. all
Well,
right.
Mom, you just threw your hat in the ring to become
Yes.
Miss Pennystock 2024. So we'll check in with you in a little bit.
But
Round
I
of
have to
applause out
say
there.
something.
Yeah, one thing. Go ahead.
Has kept us entertained for years.
Okay.
Okay, he's an entertainer.
Still.
He keeps us going.
And I moved you guys down from Connecticut
That's right.
to Miami.
Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.
It was his idea.
Well, I love that. So Tim's going to be entertaining the audience today. And one lucky audience member, Tim, is going to move down from Connecticut to join us in South Beach. It's my birthday next week. Thank you, guys.
Birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Could someone
guys.
help Mom and Dad down the stairs? Let's help them down
I
here.
think we'll be okay.
Good
Okay,
job.
I just want to make sure we can't have any issues over here. There's Christy. Anyway, Tim. No, listen, I'm just. We got risk over here. God forbid. That's Tim's parents right there.
Awesome.
With that being said, Miss Pennystock, Laura Padrinos in the house, Italia Dove is in the house, Amy Dangerfield's in the house, Tim Sykes in the house, and you guys are in the house. You're going to help us
job.
today pick who's the 2024 VT Miss Pennystock. Thank you, Tim, for letting us revive this. We're going to have a lot of panels out there. We're going to have a lot of questions. Let's get ready to start the show.
Yes.
Malik, the 6-foot freak, 7 days a week. He'll be on there running the camera. Shout out Malik real quick.
Shout out.
There he is.
Whoop, whoop.
Malik, you got one job today. We're driving to Minnect.
Oh yeah, go check that out. Look up Adam Sosnick on Minnect.
Yeah,
Right.
I just need you to put the link. Let's go. This guy.
No, he's right. Click the link.
Okay. So, Tim, let's get into the markets. So, Dow Jones. So, if anybody doesn't know what the Dow Jones is, okay, or the S&P 500, the Standard & Poor's 500, these are the biggest indexes or indicators of the stock market, American economy, as well as the NASDAQ. Those are sort of the big three. Do you see the headline in the news? Let's pull that up real quick, Malik. So the Dow Jones closes above 38,000 for the first time ever. This is as of Monday. First time ever. Okay, this is a big deal. The S&P also closed at an all-time high of 4850. I remember vividly in 2020 in Dallas when I moved to team up with PBD and we started the PBD podcast and he was running Valuetainment and PHP. I remember doing a video. It's great to have friends these days because I was solo status. I remember doing a video in the middle of COVID. I was like, the Dow just reached 30,000. First time ever, all-time highs. That was about, it was the middle of COVID 2020, so let's say that was summer of 2020 maybe. Okay, now, less than 4 years later, market's at all-time highs. So Biden should be out there probably promoting this and telling more people. This was all me. Like when the market hit all-time highs, believe me, Trump was like, it was all me.
Yeah.
The markets, I'm the guy. But one goes up, must go down. So actually, we're going to get to what president you think was the best for the markets over the last 25 years. But Tim, why do you think the market is at an all-time high right just at the beginning of an election year?
I mean, historically, the year before elections is usually great. And we've seen several like 20% run-ups like we had last year. And now, statistically, this year should be good too. I also think that there's just a kind of chasing value. America, for all its problems, is a better value proposition than any other country.
Yep.
For many different reasons, technologically speaking, just geopolitically speaking. But there's like this invisible hand that really seems to help America up. It's never paid to bet against America for any extended period of time. You have these recessions, you have these stock market corrections the last 12, 18, 24 months. We did that time. We had that correction. Everyone, especially on Twitter, was very negative, saying this is the end of America. And here we are, right back to all-time highs, being led by big companies like Amazon and Meta. So I think we look good. But you also have to think about what it is for your account. Like it's nice that the Dow is up from 30 to 38,000, but percentage-wise, that sucks if you have a small account. It's good if you're a long-term investor. Maybe in a few years we'll get to 40,000 or maybe even 50,000.
Wow.
But I focus on low-price stocks because they're just more volatile. But I like the overall strength of the market because it creates more volatility.
So I like what you said there. Never bet against America. Warren Buffett has said that for years, and it's been proven to work. So America, we said that. Laura, you're successful, you're a mother, you're running a restaurant, but you said that you're not too familiar with the stock market.
I'd say 0%.
0%.
Like on it, when all those words were there, it could have been in a different language.
This is actually great because, you know, when you look at the stock market, and there's people out there that are like, oh my God, they see the red and the green and the bulls and the bulls and the bear. What the hell does this even mean?
The squiggly lines.
Right?
Animals and colors.
what is it that is stopping you from being like, okay, it's scary, but at least let me take one step into it?
What is, well, one, I have a million other things on my plate, and I have people that take care of it for me. My husband does it, or we have financial planner people. So it's not something that is priority to me because it's already been taken care of.
So you're outsourcing.
Exactly.
So you're paying a financial planner, financial advisor?
Or my husband does it for he
Gotcha.
does it for us, or we have people that do it for the company.
Nat,
So.
I know that your big thing this New Year's was looking my best and saving more money.
Yes.
You're already looking great.
Thank you.
You're back on track, baby.
Yes.
To all the people putting the L in the chat for
We
Nat.
love you.
She loves you too. Nat, other than working out and doing your best, what have
Yeah.
you done financially since you said you were going to change your financial life? Have you started investing yet? Have you opened a 401k?
So I already
you done anything?
Yeah, so I already have some investments that I haven't really touched. I kind of just leave it there and let it do its thing. And then I've just been paying off like my debt. Just paying down my debt, bringing my credit back up, and focusing more on that. But I do have some investments. It's not something that I'm like actively, in and out with. But I got some stuff in place.
I got one more question for you. So
Go ahead.
I'm not an extremist. So they say, Pat says choose your enemies wisely. I like anybody who my enemy is anything on this extreme, all the way on the right. That could be politically, that could be financially, that could be like too much of like a tight ass, too much of like it's my way or the highway. It's like relax, bro, Like if someone says like I don't eat carbs, it's like have a fucking chip. Relax.
80-20.
Eat a cracker.
I love the 80-20. But on the other end of the extreme is just what I would call just pure sloppiness.
Yeah.
They say they don't save anything. They spend it all. They don't care what they weigh. They're just sloppy. It's like clean it up, bro.
Yeah.
So on one end it's like clean it up, bro, and on the other hand it's like relax, bro.
Right.
Extremity. I don't play that game. So, but one thing I am pretty adamant about, not extreme, is that when someone has debt,
Yeah.
like I deal with a lot of coaching. I'm Minnect. Check me out. I'm Minnect. Where people have debt, and I'm like, okay, cool. You owe, 40 grand in student loans. I get it. That's gonna take some time. Okay.
Right.
You owe $13,000 on your car. Okay, cool. I get it. It's gonna take some time. But you owe 3 grand on a credit card. Cool. Again, not an extremist, but I would say, and excuse my language, you're not leaving your fucking house. You're not going to a bar. You're not going to a lounge. You're not going to a club. You're not going to a ball game. You're not going anywhere until you pay off this debt. And then some people will be like, well, I got to live my life. It's like, you've already lived your life. Yeah. And that's how you have all this debt.
Correct.
So stop living your life for 3 months.
Unless you're a girl and you go out with Sauce and he pays for everything.
Well, there it is. That's a great lead into my question. So here's the difference. You have debt, but women can go out and get free nights out on the town.
Sure.
You've been out with me. You've never even reached into.
Never.
No.
I don't even lift my arms.
She doesn't
I'm
bring
like,
And now I got my friend Tim Sykes. We're going to go out in South Beach. You're double not reaching.
like 2 arms down.
Okay? But unfortunately, most men out there don't have that luxury.
Correct.
So for the men out there, it's weird that I'm asking ladies, but if a guy's broke and he's got debt and he said, hey, listen, I'd love to go out with you, but like I can't this week or this month or this quarter until I get my shit together, how would you respond to something like that? I'll ask you and then go to Amy.
I would respect it. As a woman, you would have to kind of go into with that mindset that you're going to get that person from that. You also have to respect what their long-term goal is. What are you going to say? Like, are you kidding me? You're not going to spend money on me? Like, and the only reason why I won't reach for my pocket is because I know, like, that's, you take care of things when we go out, right? Or if I'm with my boyfriend, he takes care of things when I go out. So, but it's not about so much, you have to spend money. It's understanding where that person is at, respecting where they're going, and letting them, with that journey. And that comes with a process. And I think that's also a good test, if that's even a good partner for you. If they can be understanding that you need to pay off your debt, then you need to run. That's a red flag for you, gentlemen. So,
okay.
But yeah, I think it's a good
Amy,
thing.
how would you respond to this? By the way, I was asking them what they were talking about investing and what they're looking to do. Give us a little perspective from your end, how you're investing, how you're saving, and you're newly single. Sorry for putting that out there. Sorry for
Putting me
putting
on
that out
blast,
there. But
okay.
guys, start sliding in that DM. But you're, I would say, a high-value woman. You're smart, you're beautiful, you're talented, but you also, forgive me for saying, know your place in a relationship.
Absolutely.
Not saying,
you don't need
okay.
to beg
Give
forgiveness
give
for
us
that.
your
That's
perspective,
just a fact of
saving,
life.
investing, dating. Give us the whole thing.
For sure. So I first became aware of the financial markets in 2018, which is the year I actually moved to the United States. And at that time, the crowd I was around was very materialistic. So I got into trading. I didn't really know much about the stock market, though, because when you look at the stock market versus the foreign exchange market, you're able to trade on margin with the foreign exchange market. So the leverage that you have behind you, you can make an insane amount of money, but it's dangerous. It can be extremely risky at the same time. But that was just the culture that I was around, and the fast money really, really attracted me. So I never really looked too much into stocks. When it comes to, you know, fundamental and technical analysis, a lot of it comes down to the same things, but there's also very big differentiating factors as well. Now, when it came to Forex for me, I had some really big months. I made a lot of money. I also lost a lot of money. My perception when I first got into Forex and I started making good money is, damn, I'm going to be just retiring and sipping Mai Tais on the beach in like the next couple of months. Didn't turn out that way, because one strategy can work for one market cycle, and as soon as something changes, the economy changes, something changes, your strategy can be rendered totally ineffective.
Amy, I feel like you'd be the best person literally to ask the following question. That question is this. You know, they say that fast money comes with slow problems.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, fast money, slow problems. So men and women are different. Okay? We're going to get to the money stuff. But when I think of fast money, slow problems, I think of sex work for women. I think of OnlyFans. I think of strippers. That's it. They're making their money, and they don't realize, all right, long term, this shit could get ugly out there.
100%.
Now, for guys, it ain't OnlyFans. Hot breaking news.
Oh.
But I feel like it's like get rich quick type stuff. You don't know what you're doing, whether it's gambling, whether it's trading, whether it's Forex, whatever it is.
100%.
Walk me through that analogy, because you're very anti-OnlyFans, but you're also very pro-trading.
Well, no,
so walk
here's
me
the
through
thing.
that.
No, it's the same thing. Educate yourself, right? And the same thing with, you know, fast money comes with slow problems that applies to sex work could also be applied to the financial industry. I've seen a lot of people make so much money and they lost it in the very same breath. When I actually educated myself and understood the power of compound interest, I don't need to make 20% a month, even 5% per month. I've been coasting off 0.5% to 5% per month over the period of the last 6 years, apart from a very brief financial crisis where I needed just basically live off of that money. And so for the first time, I wasn't capitalizing on my compound interest. But dude, when you truly understand what the power of 2, 5, 10, not even 10%, 1, 3, 5% has over a 5, 10, 15-year period, and you know how much money you can make, you're never going to jeopardize that with being overtly risky, because you are coming from a place of sound logic, you know? So I'd say just at the end of the day, educate yourself.
I think that's great, Tim. All right, well, apparently Jorge's running the audio. Love that as well. Thank you, Jorge. Tim, you're hearing what these ladies are saying, specifically Amy. I said that fast money, slow problems. What's your experience? By the way, do you agree with her? Do you disagree with her? If you disagree, tear her apart.
No, 100%. Compounding interest, compounding growth, that's the key. I mean, this is how I started with a small account and made millions. But I think also, you know, you come from like an investing standpoint where it's like a structured portfolio, diversification, long-term gains. For me, when you have the greed index at 75, when you have the markets breaking out to new highs, when you have new technology, I think that people should get a little more speculative, whether it's crypto, whether it's Forex, whether it's, you know, penny stocks. You can kind of take those long shots. You know, like if you go to like a racetrack, I don't encourage this, but if you bet on like a 50-to-1 horse, they very rarely win. That's why they're 50-to-1. But with a lot of these speculative assets, they might be low price cryptos, low price penny stocks, low price assets. But there's a huge, you know, asymmetrical risk reward where there's just huge upside. If you bet, let's say $500 and you do your research, I'm not saying just gamble randomly. I'm not saying go to a casino where the odds are shit, but you really do your research and you think, okay, this has a shot, like whether it's Dogecoin or something with an upcoming catalyst. and you say, okay, I don't care what Dogecoin is going to do in the long run, but if Elon Musk is going to be on Saturday Night Live, I think they announced it, like 2 weeks in advance, especially if there's an uptrend, right? Like you can't be afraid of some strength. So I think people with small savings and small accounts can take on a little speculative risk if they study enough, going back to what you said, where you can educate yourself. The world has changed in the past 10, 20 years, where, yes, there's always been risky bets, but now you can research everything online. Wolf of Wall Street, that was pre-internet. Like, you would just get pitched over the phone.
Dude, they're making cold calls on landlines.
And you have no idea, right? And, like, promoters used to send faxes. I mean, this is old school. Now you can really dig in. I built my blog up just by exposing a lot of the pump and dumps, and I was like, this company is based, like, you can do a Google search and it's based in a barn, and I would show the barn that this address of this company is. I was like, this is a joke.
Yeah.
Now you can research everything.
You can expose.
But people need to put in the time, and they need to understand, wait a minute, let me try some of this stuff. And I do think that you should have a long-term investment, like the S&P 500 goes up an average of 8 to 10% per year, almost every year. So you should have that in the background, but at the same time, take some risky bets if you educate yourself and you say, okay, let me try to catch one of these flyers. Like, there's people who are like, no, I'll never touch a penny stock, I'll never touch crypto, I'll never touch an NFT. Why not? Like, the world has changed and people need to recognize that.
Let me ask you this, so everything starts with a foundation, right? So if you're going to build a house, let's use a money analogy here. The risk should be at the very, very, very top. Let me explain. Create a solid foundation, okay? So if you're going to build a house, you're not building the foundation with Dogecoin, okay? So you're going to need to save some money, become debt-free, right? Get out of the dirt, get into the ground, build up the first floor, got it, save, start to invest, all right? Maybe that's like the second floor. But at the very top, when you can kind of take on more risk because you have a whole house of foundation, all right, so the attic, that's a good, like, risk assessment. What would your asset allocation be for the average guy out there who's like, all right, I'm making some money. I'm getting out of debt. I got some savings. I'm going to start investing.
Great question.
Like, what should their strategy be? Meaning, like, I always say, before you start investing, save 10 grand. Then once you have 10 grand, you can start getting into, like, a 401k or Roth IRA. Cool, you can contribute to that. Then above that, you can get into ETFs and index funds and mutual funds and all that stuff. And then above that, cool, get into Bitcoin, get into Ethereum, get into, your mama coin, whatever is out there that people are, is risky. What's your best way to build a financial house?
Yeah, I mean, it's different for everybody, right? Yeah. Like, everyone has different lifestyles. Some people have, like, families and responsibilities. You have to judge based on your own things. I'm not a financial advisor. But I do think that you have to remember, most people in America don't even have savings of $10,000. Right. So, like, most people are living paycheck to paycheck. It's really tough. So I think that you should, not even just where you should allocate your money, allocate your time. Every night you should spend 30 minutes on YouTube and online just learning about different strategies. And you'll be shocked at what you can learn. Like, you have compound interest. There's compound growth with education. There's so much content these days, and people don't think about that. They're just like, oh, I want a financial advisor. I want somebody else. I don't trust anybody else with my money. I want to know everything. I want to be self-sufficient, because there's so many different opportunities, and there's a lot of people who are older, they don't know about new opportunities. Like, I used to rip on NFTs. I used to rip on some of these things, and then they would spike 1,000%, 5,000%. So be open-minded and recognize that. Obviously, S&P 500, long-term investing, that's good. Get out of debt, basic savings. I mean, take a job as, like, DoorDash or Uber. Like, there's so many different ways to make small amounts of money. But I really think that you should try a little something. Even if, let's say you have $1,000, I would allocate $100 to a high-risk strategy, because what's the risk, right? Like, whether you're plus 5,000.
You're saying on 1,000, take 100.
Yeah. 10%.
So you're basically saying 10% risk it.
Yeah.
But not 90%.
Risk it with education first.
Correct.
Not just throw it into the wind.
One thing I really like you said is that every night, dude, I'm like, a buddy asked me, a major guy, like, if I said his name or his company, you'd like, oh, I know that guy. He said, what do you read? He's like, I watch PBD podcasts. He's like, I've seen your growth. You know a lot of shit. I'm just like, dude, I got 2 things nonstop. I read the Wall Street Journal like crazy. Business, politics, finance, current events, blah, 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 blah. But then every day I'm just YouTubing for 2 hours a day. Not 2 hours a day, on 2x speed. So every day, like 2 hours a day on 2x speed, which is basically 4 hours, to be clear. where I'm just soaking in stuff. Okay, this is what's going on in Ukraine. This is what's going on in Israel. This is what's happening with Trump. Biden fell down a gun. What the hell? Get up, buddy. What's going on? Trump, clean up your face. You got some makeup on there. Everyone get it together. Bah, 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 bah. I'm just soaking it in at 2x speed. But what you said, actually, the mayor of Miami, Francis Suarez, I feel like he's the kind of guy that you should meet. Or you probably have met. Awesome guy. I said, you know what? Talk to me about ROI. He goes, Adam, ROI is one thing. That's return on investment. He goes, but what you know about ROT? I said, what's ROT, Mayor? And he goes,
return on time.
Return on your time.
100%.
So one of my biggest things that I say in life is don't spend your time, invest your time. Someone told me that, and you're talking about a guy who was the king of Miami of spending that time. Partying, getting drunk, sleeping in. Hey, how'd you get here? I don't know. Get out. I got to go. But like just spending time. And someone said, dude, you got to stop spending all your time. Start investing your time. I was like, oh shit. You know, they say that time is money. So I fully agree with you that before you start investing, before you start doing anything, educate yourself and look at the opportunity cost right there.
Allocate your time and allocate your money. So like every day you should look at those allocations. Like, you know, like even if you're, let's say you spend a lot of time cooking, is it really worth spending 2 hours a day cooking when you could like save time? Like, you know, I'm in a fortunate position where I can get like a personal chef. That's one of the best things that I can do. I can eat healthy. It can be organic.
Whatever.
There's so many different things, but it's like, wait a minute, I can save a lot of time hiring somebody. Whether that's for a chef, whether it's for a trainer, whether it's for driving, all these different ways to get more time for yourself so that you can really activate your brain.
So when
by the way, I need a referral for a chef. I'm looking for a personal chef, AKA wife. If anybody out there knows someone.
She does.
Last question for Tim, and then we'll move on we'll talk about the presidency. So risk. I just want to hone in on this risk. You're saying, hey, 10%, risk it. So when I think of risk, I think of, you know, literally gambling, going to the casinos. Everyone I know is gambling on sports, fantasy sports, doing this, doing that. You got the lottery and the lottery tickets and the scratch off. Some people are investing in name a random coin, shit coin, and I'm rooting for shit coin now. What would you say, like what's the worst, how about this? What's the worst risk story you've heard and the best risk story? Because you've dealt with a lot of people. Some guy you've made millions, or this guy put it on black and he's a millionaire now. This guy did it and now he's unfortunately homeless. And what's your best story and your worst story?
Well, a lot of what you mentioned is just binary. So you either double your money or you lose everything. I don't like any of those bets. I like to cut losses quickly. Even though I trade penny stocks, I have rule number one. I have so many 1%, 2%, 3% losses because I'm trying to ride the hype. But if it's not going in my direction, I cut it.
Can you use a trailing stop loss in stocks?
Yes, you can.
Let's go. That's what I use in Forex.
Listen, guys, I just quick message here. That right there, that's a little uncalled for, Amy, because now people are going to be like, oh, she's trying to find her way to Miss Penny Stock. I already know it. Using industry terms.
It's a good comment.
The system is rigged.
It was the perfect comment for that exact scenario.
Guys,
and I actually didn't know if it applied to the stock market.
It's a joke. Relax, guys.
But here's the thing. You can trade risky assets in a conservative way. That's my whole specialty. Where it's like, if you ask about me and trading, everyone's like, oh, that guy's a coward. But I still turn a few thousand into a few million trading cowardly because the assets I trade are volatile enough. You don't have to believe in these shit coins. You don't have to believe in these penny stocks and say, oh, I'm going to hodl all the way. Like, I don't know if you guys seen the movie like Dumb Money or if you followed.
I just
that
watched
came out
that
today.
movie. It's so crazy. I just watched that
movie. It's
really
good.
The dumbest people I know made the most money unrealized. They never took it because they just held. They hodled. We're all in this together. Like, this is great. If he's holding, I'm holding. Diamond hands, right? I'm paper hands all the way. I'm like paper mache hands. My hands are all mushy. It's all terrible. So dumbest story you wanted for risk? I know somebody who held one of these shit coins. They put in like $5,000. They got all the way up to $12 million.
Oh my God.
And I'm begging him, sell, just some. And I told him to sell at like, to be fair, I told him too early. Like when it was 500,000, I was like, sell. When it was $1 million, I was like, sell. When it was 5 million, I was like, just sell 1 million of the 5 million. But it kept going, and so it actually, the higher it went, made my arguments weaker and weaker. Because he's like, you told me to sell here, here, and here. But the problem is, he never knew when to get out. Okay, so at the peak, it was 12.2 million. Guess what it's worth now? He never sold.
Let me guess.
Nothing.
It's probably worth like A couple hundred bucks.
He's still up.
Couple thousand bucks.
He's still up. No, it's 42,000.
Okay.
Okay.
But
well, based on 12 million, that's a couple bucks.
The mental problems from, seeing all of this, like he's picturing houses, boats. He's like, if I just give it another, he wanted to get it to 20 million. So he's like, at 20 million, I'll sell. I never got
How much money did this person have in their life before this came in?
Just a few $1,000s.
Okay, so that is greed of the highest level.
But this is what I'm saying. The dumbest people held the whole way. If I was smart and I had $5,000 and an asset doubled, I'm out at 10,000.
So what would you have done?
Because that's responsible.
Yeah.
So you told him, but to be clear, you told him to sell it at $500,000.
Yeah.
You were wrong.
No, but he did say all of it. He did say some.
So I was saying sell some, but he made so his problem.
So what would you have told him to do?
Yeah.
So his problem was that because I was telling him to sell some, he's like, okay, if I listened to you and I sold, let's say even half, that would have cost me another 700,000. That would have cost. So he's thinking about the opportunity cost of missing out. But I'm like, you would still have that money.
You know what this is called?
In.
There's a term for this these days. Girl math.
Yeah.
You've heard this term?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call it degenerate gambling.
There you go. That's another one.
But it's the same.
But when you have somebody doing so much research and they're doing all these things, they have all this knowledge in their head. Who do they confide in? Like, how do you know who to confide in when you have? But when you have all this knowledge, like, how do you know? Like, okay, I'm gonna try here. Like, who is the person who would you recommend people in their life that they can go to? Like, hey, I've been doing research. Who would that person?
I mean, this is what I do. I teach degenerate gamblers discipline. But like, I usually sell too soon. A lot of my biggest wins, I take 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, and I could have made 200,000, 500,000 like a week later. But I don't care, right? Because I'm just thinking about how do I stack my gains up. And now, for me, I like selling too soon. Now I don't even care how high it goes. I've had 3 winners in the past 2 weeks, sold them all way too early. I don't care. I'll leave it on the table. But as long as I don't want to overstay, you don't want to get in that habit because then you get greedy. You have all these communities where everyone like cheerleads together. There's a lot of groupthink. You have to be careful of these communities. By all means, learn from the communities and be like, yes, I'll write it up. But then like when everyone is saying like, don't sell, that's when you have to sell.
Who did you confide in?
Nobody. I'm self-taught. This is the problem. So this is why I became a teacher because like I never had a mentor. So I always thought, shoot, I made so many boneheaded mistakes. She hates it. She wants to go gamble.
Amy, where you going?
She wants to gamble.
She has to go to the
She's like, I'm done with this.
Unbelievable.
I'm hodling.
Amy. She's going to come back and dance. That's for sure.
You know what? You definitely need to be on Minnect to answer all those questions for all these people.
Give it to
guys,
me.
we're going to be signing up Tim Sykes on Minnect anytime soon. So just stick around.
And while you're on there, make sure you do a consultation with the Adam
guys,
Sauce
help me out here on
$10.
For $10, I'm going to lower the price. Let me actually go do that right now. I should probably do that.
Let's do that right now.
Okay.
We'll do that live.
Nat, ask Tim one more question so I can do this real quick.
Let's see. It's so interesting to kind of hear, like, in the time when you were learning, what was the resources you were using to even learn some of these things?
So, I mean, it's been over 20 years that I've been doing this, and they've evolved. I didn't go over my best risk-reward story, so I'll bring that up. So, for me, I'm always looking at different websites. Now there's a lot more websites these days. There's a lot more tools. But I'm always looking at news. I want news catalysts in any investment, any trade, because especially when there's upcoming news, like with the Dogecoin, where Elon Musk is going to be on Saturday Night Live, or when, Bitcoin, the ETF is going to get approved. When there's something a week, 2 weeks out in the future that gets everyone all talking about it, and everyone can't wait for that day. And I'm usually out like a day, 2 days before that happens. Sometimes a week before that happens. I don't want to be there when the news hits. But every day I'm looking at news, and you have to really kind of curate the news. Because there's a lot of news out there. A lot of it is just fluff. Anybody can put out a press release these days. But for me, my number one tool these days is just looking at big percent gainers in the stock market. Stocks that are already up 20, 30, 50, 100% on the day, but they have news, and it's like, we're introducing a new product in a week. We're introducing something in 2 weeks. We just signed a deal with Google, and this contract is going to last 2 years. So there's a catalyst that traders can point to. And with a lot of low-price stocks, these catalysts can last days or weeks or months. Depending on the industry. But I'm looking to ride the hype. That's the whole thing. I try to ride the hype, and I'm like, I don't believe it. This company will probably screw it up in the long run, but I'll ride it in the interim.
Did you have any partake in that activity that happened with GameStop? Did you do
so I never even traded any of the meme stocks. I traded the lower price stocks that were sympathy plays to the meme stocks. I trade lower price stocks. I didn't expect that to happen. Like, you don't think that these meme stocks...
Do you look at Reddit at all?
What?
Do you look at Reddit? Is that
I look at it. I saw what was going on, but I focused on lower price stocks. So there was actually a penny stock, PHUN, where they did some marketing for some Trump companies. And when the meme stocks were spiking, and even now that Trump is leading again, this stock has gone from like 10 cents to like $1.
Hold on. Did you say meme stocks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Shows how much I know. Meme, like an actual, like a funny picture
Yes.
with words on
Yeah.
it, or that is
It becomes a
stock.
meme. Yeah. So
Yeah.
meme stocks
You
can
can
just
make anything a
spike.
stock,
I mean,
yeah.
Bed Bath & Beyond was a meme stock.
Yeah.
Bed Bath & Beyond like went up
AMC.
10 times.
Stock.
Wall Street
AMC.
Bets, everything
All
they were
stock.
doing over there. GameStop.
So I never
I know.
expect
Segue.
that madness.
Perfect segue. Speaking of, you talked about what's going on with meme stocks. You brought up the presidential.
Yeah.
We're gonna play a game here, guys. Let's play a game. Let's bring some politics into finance, into culture. Let's get into this. So what the question we're gonna find out right now is, who do you guys think has been the best president for the stock market in the last 25 years? Nat, I'm gonna test your IQ here.
Okay.
I know Laura knows. Can you name all the presidents that go back 25 years?
No.
Yes, you can. You can do this.
25.
Every president since you've been alive. Why'd you quickly say no? How about this? Who's the president now?
Biden.
Joe Biden.
Well, that's a
Great.
deep question. I mean, who's actually the
There's
president?
Laura. Who was the president before Biden?
Trump.
I didn't hear you.
Trump.
You could talk.
Trump.
Trump. There you go. Can we make sure our mic's working or our vocal cords are working? Before Trump, who was the president?
Obama.
It was Obama.
Yes.
Now, who was the president before Obama?
I got a brain fart. I don't know.
It was Bush, right?
Yes.
It was Bush.
Was it Bush? I
Yes.
thought it was.
That's his
George
fallback
W.
right
Bush.
there. I don't know any
Guys,
was before-
those are all the presidents.
I was thinking Clinton, which is actually. I'm not gonna
So
say. it.
after Clinton
not gonna say
was Bush.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Do you want the answer of the all-time high
Before
Okay.
All-time high what?
before Clinton.
for the? No, go ahead.
it
Go
was
ahead.
Listen, guys. Before we can have this conversation, I think it's important as Americans, we know who the goddamn president is.
I hope so.
Okay.
Can I just
So-
bust this thesis
Yeah.
before you even ask
No,
it?
no, you can't.
No.
But that's the whole point of this. So
Yeah.
we want to know, what president do you think has been the best for the markets on paper? Now, Tim's probably going to say something to the effect of, well, the president isn't really responsible for moving the markets. And what happens is it's a macroeconomic, socioeconomic status that has many different KPIs and key performance indicators. And usually the president can't be
I was just going to say one word, America.
There you go.
That too.
America is moving forward. The
Thank
president
you.
doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
That's true. But there's also a resume and a track record. So, in your opinion, who do you think has been the best for the stock market in the last 25 years? Now, I will say that the market has just reached an all-time high with Joe Biden. So, who do you think has been the best? Is it Biden? Is it Trump? Is it Obama? Or is it Bush? What do you think, Laura Padrino?
No, don't say in my opinion. I'm gonna say guess. Trump.
Trump. You're biased, though.
No, I wouldn't
You
say.
got your
that-
MAGA hats behind your seats. I
that's
see
like,
it.
No, don't put that out there, okay? I'm a conservative, not a Republican. Okay, so
You said you're a conservative, not a Republican.
yeah,
There's a
we're not
difference.
talking about.
Yes,
we're-
we are.
we go.
Okay,
You mean? That's exactly what we're talking about.
okay. Well, no, what I'm saying is I'm not like MAGA. Okay, we're not going there. That's
Okay.
a whole thing. But I'm saying I'm not biased in that. I'm just saying everybody was talking about how great things were financially when Trump was.
That's true.
So it's not my.
Well, we do miss those
opinion,
mean
it's my-
tweets. We
it's
gotta
my
have them.
guess.
That was entertaining.
Nat,
It's
Yeah.
my guess.
we spent way too much time seeing if you knew who the presidents were, but we got it now.
Yeah.
Who do you think
Who's your guess?
is your guess for where the markets perform the best?
I would say Trump.
You would say Trump.
Yes.
Okay. Amy.
I think I'm gonna be wrong.
I
but-
have no clue. I literally have no
Well,
idea.
the
I wanted to
beautiful thing
answer
here,
that.
If I had
but
to
the beautiful
guess-
thing is there's only 4 people to choose from.
Sure. Okay. So if we're going off like the
So
greed,
Malik, do a little poll. Who they think it was?
if we're going off,
Biden, Trump, Obama, Bush.
I think.
if we're going off the greed and fear index, right? So technically on paper it should be Biden right now if everybody is extremely greedy, but that's when Buffett says that you should be fearful. So who knows what's awaiting us?
I feel like you just completely BS that answer.
Pretty good,
You're
right?
like,
And you did great while doing it.
Kamala Harris,
So
that answer.
who's your vote? Biden. You voted Biden.
No, I'll go with Trump as well.
You're going
45. All right, 45.
Tim Sykes.
All right.
Tim.
I'll tell you. I mean, I don't know exactly
Yeah.
where the Dow and the S&P was like when each president started. So like it's tougher to go up percentage-wise now because the markets are higher. So I really don't know whether it's Trump or Obama because, like, both of them did very well in terms of stock market. So are we going numerically? Are we going percentage-wise? Are we going for percentage?
Then percentage growth.
I mean, I just have to go against everyone. I'd have to say Obama.
Go ahead.
Then it's Obama.
I don't know.
That's
So
the case.
I literally
Because
don't know.
Obama was elected during the time when we were in with the recession. So he had to go all the way up.
I don't
my
know these
research.
specific.
You know, I've noticed something about I've noticed something about
working.
Nat, and this is interesting, and I want you crowd to pay attention to this. When Nat is not sure, she talks like this. Yeah.
Because I know you like to dunk on me, and I'm like, I know my answer,
You just
but
have
let
to
me
say what you
just
think.
be
She
reserved.
goes, I go, who was the president? It was Obama. I think it was Trump. I think the president.
I act better when you support
I
me.
think the president was George
And then when
Bush.
she's
need
confident,
support.
She's just, it was Obama, bro. It was straight up Obama.
Because I did
I remember
research.
when motherfucking Barack
I did
showed up. It's like, pick a path, woman.
Well, it's,
Could you be any more antithetical? It's like bipolar. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Obama.
It's more
like
like
Pick
Adam
one.
Sandler,
the confidence.
Billy
This is also
Madison.
an
You
area.
noticed this, Tim. I mean, you've been communicating with her all week.
I mean, you do a good impression.
But it's like, it's
No,
either like.
that was Adam Sandler. That is not Nat.
Adam Sandler, it was like.
with you. I just want you to know.
I just
in
want you
topics like
guys,
this.
you know,
all
say in
Jewish
the
people,
chat if you
Jewish
noticed
people
this.
doing impressions. We all sound like Adam Sandler.
We went there.
We all sound like Adam
Nat.
Sandler when we do
But
impressions.
here's the thing: when we have topics when it comes
Yeah.
to like money and these type of touchy topics, you're unsure numbers. Like
yeah, of course.
you're not always confident in maybe the things that you're doing. That's why I always ask, where do you get your research? Who do you
All right,
confide
enough
in?
of you.
You're
Say it with
fine.
your chest.
But the
You're
thing is,
fine,
though,
Nat.
at the end of the day,
Guys, let me give some answers
Give
here.
us
You're
the
fine,
answer.
Nat.
So
You
you sort of half-heartedly said, I think it was Trump.
But
Tim
Obama.
Sykes, financial expert, shows up. Now you're like, it was Obama, dog. I remember.
Yeah, it
I don't know.
was.
I literally
He doesn't
don't
even
know.
know.
I'm biased. I like.
There we go.
Going against the
Well, let's
crowd.
get the crowd some
I have to
answers
go
here.
against the crowd.
I feel like
Okay,
sorry for doing
okay.
stand-up comedy bit. So obviously, since the stock market hit 38,000, it's an all-time record. S&P's an all-time record since Biden's inauguration, which was January of 2021. The S&P is up 22.5%. Not bad.
Not bad.
Right? The typical average is 10% year over year, right? However, his performance lags behind the most recent presidents at a similar point in their terms. So, former President Donald Trump had a stronger market performance during his first term.
Right.
We all know that at the end of his first term, there was a little thing called something with a demic.
Yep.
There was a pandemic out there, so that ate into Trump's returns. Also, President Obama had way better returns at Biden. Stock market performance under Biden doesn't measure up to that under Obama or Trump. And then Bush, not as much. So here's what I'm going to show you what's going on in the markets. Malik, do we have that chart?
Yes, sir.
So for all you people that bet on certain people, let's get the drum roll of results real quick. So here we go. George W. Bush, he started his term on January 20th, 2001. 2001, we know what happened 9/11 that year. The market was up 20% at that point. Is that what that says?
So it looks like
Yes.
it was Obama.
Does that say
It was
negative though?
Negative 20.45%.
Negative 20.45.
It was negative 20. Gotcha. I can't see so much.
I got
His
you.
second term, it was also what?
Negative. Oh, well, it was 24.8.
It was up 24.
Yes.
Malik, double check my old man eyes. It was down 20% the first term.
Right, and
Yep.
then
Up
24.
24%.
Yep.
Okay. Because when he ran for election, they're like, holy moly, the 9/11, the stock market, what's going on here? He got reelected, and the market attempted to have a comeback. Next thing you know, financial crisis. We all know what happened there. The market, I think, was down 40% at one point. He ended his term. Barack Obama shows up. Throw that back on the thing. This girl, Natalia, out here, all of a sudden, she gets some, like, confidence out there. She's screaming. She's yelling. He was up 50% in his first term.
Yes.
50%, and he ran it back 37% his second term.
Right.
So the markets did great under Obama. Wow. You know, they threw a lot of money into that thing.
Right.
Trump shows up, crushes the market, not like Obama, but crushes it 39%. But by the way, I gave a note. How much was the market down during COVID? That's going to have an effect because he was the only president that was a one-term president on that list until we see what happens to Joe Biden. Currently under Biden, 22.5%. So if we're just going on straight returns, Tim Sykes wins. It was Obama.
Sykes wins.
But it doesn't matter. Like,
Yes.
you guys have to understand, it doesn't matter as much. We're all in America. This is the most successful,
Right.
most, like, the richest society in the history of mankind. We are all benefiting from it. So you put these political leaders, they say a few things, good and bad, that people disagree with. We're all in America. Like, until something major happens, like, okay,
Right.
we have diseases, we have terrorist attacks. Those are pretty major, but they still haven't really altered our trajectory, which is crazy. Like, we are on such a strong path compared to the rest of the world. If you look at China, real estate crashed. If you look at Europe, like, you have the big Russia problem. If you have Africa, you can't really trust a lot of the numbers. Like, America is the only safe haven to go.
Yeah.
So we're crushing it. You have these different presidents, they're really just not going to affect that stuff that much. And again, if you have mutual funds and you're up 10%, 20%, fantastic, but it's not going to change your life that much, especially if you have like $5,000. If you have $5,000 and you're up 10%, woohoo, I'm making 500 on the year. Oh, this is a great year. We're up 20%. You're making 1,000 instead of 500.
Right.
What is that? One fun night out in Miami? Like, it's nothing. So you have to try to go bigger. The biggest thing that none of us are talking about is inflation and how the value of the dollar has gone down and all the normal costs are up so much. So you can save $1,000, you can save $10,000, but what does $10,000 buy you now versus what did it buy you when Obama was in charge?
But wouldn't you say, though, when it comes to like the president who is, currently running, that also affects the level of trust that the people have to even make certain investments?
I mean, America business is going to do what it does. Like, like
right, but if you have someone like a
America
Trump
gonna
in there,
do what America gonna
but
do.
if you have someone like a
current
Trump in there
president-
versus like maybe somebody who's not.
You'll have tax credits, you'll have, propaganda, you'll have more press releases, you'll have more parades. That's cool. But like, it just doesn't matter. Like, even our current president doesn't really respect Tesla. I don't know if you've seen with the electric
He
vehicles.
doesn't even invite
congratulates everybody.
Elon Musk to the.
For electric vehicles, and
Right.
he's congratulating all
Crazy.
the other electric vehicle makers. So like, you say, oh, this is stupid, but Tesla keeps growing, right? Like, Amazon can do what he wants. Like, American business and entrepreneurship is thriving.
So
now
that-
with NVIDIA and AI, like, we are inventing everything. And
But
this is the beautiful thing that we're in.
So that's why I question, like, wouldn't it kind of affect if we have a president that does support businesses and entrepreneurship in running? That would affect more of a positive market.
It might.
I feel like it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It would probably more so affect the foreign exchange market versus the stock market, right? If you have a president who's making poor decisions that's driving the actual value of the currency down, that's very different versus the stock market. Because when it comes to the stock market, there are entire communities and conglomerates that can collaborate around a certain company or idea or project and drive up the value. It comes down to human emotions versus when you're looking at currencies, like, that is going to be more so determined by, the trajectory of the government, the financial decisions that they're making, XYZ.
There's
right?
also just a lot of moving pieces too. So like, you might get tax credits, business credits. That's very good. Certain presidents like that. But then there's also Forex, and there's also, just different issues geopolitically, right? So like, some presidents are very focused on America first, America only, and then our alliances suffer. But maybe when we support the war in Ukraine, which is very unpopular, but we're actually really benefiting from it. Europe is getting hurt worse because they're right next to Russia. So the war in Ukraine actually benefits American economy, especially American energy, a lot. So like, there's all these little moving pieces, but overall the trend is up. We're inventing everything. America rocks.
I love it.
love that.
That's the big theme.
Yes.
Tim's speech right there, America rocks.
Yes.
Fully co-sign that. By the way, just real quick, are most of the penny stocks that you invest in, what % of them are American-based companies versus international?
I mean, I only trade U.S. stocks, but some of them are foreign companies trading on the U.S.
Gotcha.
But like,
and when
maybe
when
90%.
people think of penny stocks, they think of just like small little mom and pop company, but it's not necessarily that. It could just be companies that just really haven't made their way in the market, but they could have major traction in the market. What's a typical penny stock look like?
So
like a company.
Yeah, I mean, well, there are like blatant scams, which are funny because it's like
Not those,
such
yeah.
obvious scams. But like, there are some companies, they have 1 or 2 products. They don't have a lot of cash. They're basically like VC companies. They've gotten public just to increase the liquidity and the valuation of the company. But I'm looking at stocks trading between $1 and $5 a share. I don't trade illiquid penny stocks because there's a lot of stocks where they have like these amazing technologies, but they don't really trade. And like, you can't really guess whether their story is true or not. I'm looking at active stocks. Like I said, the big percent gainers, they're already up 20, 50, 100% before I even buy them.
Wow.
I'm thinking, can they keep going? Can I ride this wave for whatever it is?
Question, and we're not, this segment right here, we're not telling you to pick or not pick these stocks or whatever. What are some household names that people would be familiar with that were like penny stocks that you saw, oh, these guys could be good? Can you give us some case examples?
I mean, Amazon once upon a time was a penny stock. Sirius Satellite Radio is usually a penny stock. They have a lot of debt. They're a different case. But I'm not even...
So a penny stock, you're saying $1 through $5. So a penny stock isn't usually a penny. It could be a couple bucks.
I mean, I could trade a stock at a penny, but it's really tough. And you have to take big positions, and it's tougher to get out of. I really like actively traded stocks between $1 and $5 a share. Wow. Companies that are valued around $100 to $500 million, which sounds like a lot. Like, oh, $100 million company on Wall Street, $100 million is nothing.
Right.
It's like a small cap.
Let's start with the B. They're not interested. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just tiny. So, but the beautiful thing about a $100 million company is with the right press release, with the right momentum, $100 million can become $300 million. Oh, we're all excited about this new AI. We're all excited about this new crypto. You know, I'll get back to this. Going back to my first $100,000, my first strategy, you'll laugh at how dumb it was. I was buying companies that added .com to their name. They would have a press release. I bought Sportsman's Guide. They sell camping equipment. They're still around, sportsmansguide.com. When they changed their name to sportsmansguide.com back in 99, the stock quadrupled from 3 to 13, 3 to 15. And I was like, this is so stupid. Other companies started issuing name changes. I bought it. I always sold too early. Same thing has happened now 20 years later. They changed their name to .io to be AI companies. We integrate with ChatGPT. The stocks triple, quadruple. Same thing with like the diseases, Ebola and the big one. They're very similar. The same companies that make masks, the same companies that make biohazard suits. It's crazy how history repeats. So
and then we all remember what happened in 2001. There was the .com bubble that everyone had. People were getting all these valuations for these companies that were doing nothing, but they had .com next. Oh, it's the new thing.
Similar to AI.
But I will say a thing just to wrap this up right here. So, like, what is all this whole conversation with .com, .io, what's going on? The President Obama, is it Trump, whether or not it's going to be vocalizing or not in this certain segment. What happens is, Tim's point is, bet on America. Yeah. One thing we've known, whether there's ups and downs, we've seen it 9/11, we've seen 2008, the Great Recession. We've seen, obviously, everything that happened, COVID worldwide. We have this stuff. America has basically been through it, pushed through, risen and rose each time and time again. So what does this mean for your bank account? Half of Americans don't invest in the stock market. Half Americans don't invest, period. Okay? 2/3 of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. But if you want to get your little slice of the American pie and get financial freedom, you can't save your way up to a millionaire status. You have to start investing. Okay, so most people should start investing through, whether it's your 401k, your Roth IRA, your mutual funds, whatever it is. Get your little slice of the American pie because you're going to own all these corporations. People don't understand. What's the S&P 500? I don't know what it's the 500 biggest companies in America. Every single company you're thinking of right now, it's led by this magnificent seven. You know, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia. The list goes on, but this is the way that you can get to financial freedom for most people. So the last thing I'll say is most people should take the following advice. Stop worrying about what's going on in the White House and start focusing on what's going on in your house. Because whether it's Trump, whether it's Obama, whether it's Biden, whether it's George W. Bush, they're not going to help you. I've made money under Bush. I've made money under Obama. I've made money under Trump. I made money under Biden. I'll make money under whether it's Trump again or Biden. Who knows who the president is. I assume you've done the same. So look yourself in the mirror. Figure out how you can save more money, make more money, invest more money, look your best, feel your best, act your best, and stop blaming it on the president because the White House ain't going to help you. You need to help yourself. With that being said,
can I add one thing to that? Yeah, go ahead. Also ignore negativity that's online in like a lot of these conspiracy theories where like everything is ending. This is all terrible.
Yeah.
You just look at history. It might not be an exact science, but history repeats, and America is the single best trend. Like, obviously we're in America. I'm American. We're biased. But out of all the trends in the entire world of finance, this is the single best trend. And there's upside with this new technology. Right. It's not just like, oh, we have like oil or some kind of energy where, yes, we have some of that. We are benefiting. But new technology is what drives America.
Yep. Love that.
For this next clip, we're going to have Nat help us out here. So Here's the story right now. Malik, you're ready to pull this up. So nearly half of young adults are obsessed with being rich, Natalia.
I love money.
They
I love
want to
money.
be rich. They want to be
I love
rich
money.
so bad that they're losing their freaking minds here. Nearly half of young adults say they are obsessed with being rich, and financial consequences, dun 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 dun, may ensue. Let's get into this article real quick.
guy.
Malik, I might need you to help me to read some stuff here and read it fast. So according to Credit Karma, 44% of Gen Z and 46% of millennials, Nat, I don't know if you know this, that's almost half.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
that's my girl. 44% of Gen Z and 46% of millennials say they are, quote unquote, obsessed with the idea of being rich versus only 27% of all Americans.
Oh.
So Gen Z, young people, 30 and under, are obsessed with being rich versus only a quarter of all Americans. So we're talking, Gen Xers, older millennials, baby boomers, traditionalists. Well, if they haven't made their money yet, they haven't made their money, the silent generation. So my question is, I want to know what's going on here. Survey also says that 59% of millennials and 48% feel they're actually behind on their goals. So almost half want to be super, super rich, but then more than half are not have no money whatsoever, or they say they're behind on their goals. So there's a little disconnect there. So my question is, how much does social media play into this? Hear me out. So millennials and certainly Gen Z are the first generation to be raised on a smartphone, raised on the internet. So you're in your early 40s?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember literally a black and white TV at some point.
I'm not that old.
Okay, but I had a black and white TV. But you remember, I'm not saying that was your main TV.
I was pre-cell phone.
Yes, but have you ever seen a black and white TV?
I've seen it.
Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Everyone's seen it. That's not my
No,
generation.
these girls have never seen a black and white TV.
Yes, I have at my grandma's house.
Okay. The point is,
Watch the movie The Artist.
you remember when TVs were big and bulky like this.
Yeah.
You remember not having a cell phone.
Yeah.
For sure.
You remember actually playing outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
I played outside.
He's like, no, I didn't play outside. I was day trading.
I was
Okay.
studying.
The point is, the young
I get sinus
generations out there, the
infections.
25 and under, they've only been having a cell phone in their hand their entire life.
Right.
So my question is, how much do you think social media has led to this discontentment between young people? I need to be rich. I'm obsessed with being rich, versus they're actually not rich at all, because 59% of millennials and 48% say they're behind on their financial goals. So here's actually a part of the article, and then I want to ask this. Malik, pull this article up right here. This one quote says, social media has convinced 22-year-old kids that they should have vacations on the Amalfi Coast, have Louis Vuitton bags, and have HGTV kitchens before they've earned it, and is the primary reason Gen Z has money dysmorphia.
But this is what I was going to clarify.
Yeah.
Because is it that they want to be rich or they want all the things? Because they're two totally different things. Being rich is I'm like super hyper focused on working and saving, and I'm not going to go out and have the $500 nights because I want that money, because I want to be rich. I want all the stuff is a totally different thing. That's when you have like the buy now, pay later. Like I just want stuff. Totally different. Like I want the trips. Okay, I'll put it on my credit card. I want this thing. I'm going to get it. So is it the stuff that they want, or is it the rich? Because they're totally different concepts to me.
Laura Padrino, by the way, this is why you might want to nominate her for Miss Pennystock. Amy's in the lead right now, but also Nat's doing her thing. Laura Padrino, you remember a great point, because that's exactly what this article highlights.
Yeah.
Malik, if you would just go back to that article real quick, right below that Louis Vuitton handbag, all that stuff like
The
that.
HGTV kitchen.
Pull that up. What is it?
I don't know. You don't buy
Okay.
it.
I know I ain't buying that.
Yeah.
See, unfortunately, Malik, do me a favor.
Most young people
Zoom in.
don't post.
Costly loans. Keep scrolling down. Oh my God, he just punched in. Here it is. The pursuit of wealth may stem from a
Unprecedented
desire
financial.
for financial security in the face of these challenges. Keep going down, Malik. All right, hold on. The social, how to budget. Keep going down. All right, there's a point here.
Okay, it's okay if you don't go on vacation.
You need
It's
to
okay.
rewire your brain and stop normalizing living beyond your means. Keep going down. Nope,
That's
you
it.
passed it. Malik, go back up. Find the part where they talk about stuff.
Stuff.
Well, they were
About the Louis Vuitton bags?
Yeah, go back up.
It's right here.
Right there.
Yeah, but go back right before that.
having wealth and having stuff. Oh,
Yes.
oh,
There's a major disconnect in the younger generations between having wealth
and having
stuff.
Right.
Yes.
So what made you go there? Because you didn't read this article.
No.
What made you even think that?
No, because I don't think young kids, there's just such different concepts. Being rich requires very different things than today because of all the ways that you can get things and you could fake having things. So is it about the perception of being rich, or is it actually being rich? Rich is like working hard. Again, it's missing out. It's that, that idea of sacrifice. It's like, I'm going to do this now so that I can have later. The stuff is it's a totally different animal. And that's why that's what they're talking about.
Well, this is, I think it's so important that you bring this up because I want to ask Tim a question. So, there's a whole conversation in the World Economic Forum where Klaus Schwab, he says, you will own nothing and you will be happy. You've heard him say this?
I love when you say it.
I said it. You will own nothing and be happy. Okay, cool. But what does that actually look like? I actually don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. I'll tell you why. You don't have to own a house anymore. You can rent. Or you can Airbnb. You can do that thing. You don't have to own your car or cars anymore. You can simply Uber. Like, the world has changed, okay? You don't have to be the old school penny stock talking to a financial analyst. You could have a low-cost broker that you can get online at zero-cost trading. Like, the game has changed exponentially. So one of the things, your parents will probably appreciate this, there used to be a saying out there, you used to see it on the bumper stickers and the Jordan Belforts of the world. They were promoting this sort of lifestyle. That it was, he who dies with the most toys wins. Do you guys remember that bumper sticker? They're nodding their head.
Yeah, have you heard the other one, though? That you don't see a U-Haul in the back of a hearse? Like, you can't take your stuff with?
Love that. Well,
Yeah.
I was looking into this thing when I started my financial, show and everything that I was doing. And I was like, he who dies with the most toys wins. What does that mean? The most toys, what do you think about toys? Obviously, you're
boats,
talking
whatever, cars,
boats, jet skis, trailers, RVs, jewelry, everything
Planes,
that comes
chopper,
with toys, physical stuff. Okay, and then there was an article in the Washington Post that says, breaking news, basically. Malik, you maybe can find it, Washington Post. He who dies with the most toys now loses.
Oh, well, still dies.
That's true. So there's a story with you, Tim, where you tell me you had bought your second Lambo, right? And you realized, this shit ain't even making me happy because, one Lambo, that should make me happy. Let's see if 2 Lambos will make me happy. There it is right there, Washington Post. He who dies with the most toys now loses. What year was this?
2016.
Okay, cool. So, Tim, what happened with your mind? Because you went from just a normal guy, you're trading stocks in college, and then all of a sudden you're buying Lambos. What was the realization, the epiphany you had? Like, this stuff ain't making me happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think greed is good, but to a certain extent, and it's also what you do with that greed. If greed pushes you to study hard, to take care of your parents, to build the best dream life that you want, to even buy your childhood dreams, like buying exotic cars, not even buying, just driving exotic cars was my childhood dream. I never even thought that I could buy it, but then I made enough money I could buy it. First Lambo, I was like, I'm king of the world, Second Lambo, I felt nothing. I did a cancer test. I thought I had cancer. I was like, something's wrong with me. I didn't have cancer. It was good. But you have to try to figure out what your dreams are, and then you have to go after them, but then you have to be willing to adapt. And I think that a lot of rich people come to this point where if you get fortunate enough to be able to acquire all your childhood dreams, whether it's cars or whatever, there's a certain loneliness, and you've reached the top of the mountain, and you're like, now what? And you don't have any meaning, which is what got me into charity, because I was like, let me start giving this away, and then that completed my whole circle. But I don't regret wanting cars or nice things, because I had to see how it felt. You have to kind of get to the top of the mountain before you can see the other side. You can't just say just give all your money to charity now. There's a lot of billionaires who now say I want to die with nothing, right? There's the giving pledge. That's beautiful too. But I think that, young people should be motivated by greed and wealth, but do it the right way. I think it's very similar to trading. The way I trade, I'm riding the hype, but I don't believe it. I think that you should embark on your greed journey, but say it's not just for material possessions. It's not just for, superficial things, but I want to do good. Because if you have wealth, you have freedom, you can do whatever you want, you can take care of your loved ones. It gives you freedom. Like wealth can be a really good thing. And I think that social media can be a good thing too if you use it properly. But you see a lot of like Kardashian superficialism.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason why young people want wealth. Like you look at the Kardashians, they're billionaires. They're, you know, dating, marrying like the richest guys, girls in the world, right?
Whatever at this
And it's like, that's what people want. And if you look at like Trump, like very wealthy. If you look at Bezos, Elon Musk, all the most powerful people are very wealthy and they're very well respected. So I think it can be good, but you have to understand that it's misleading. And the Lambo lifestyle might be fun for a little bit, but trust me, it gets boring.
Well
Was that
said,
what
bro.
drive-
I
was that what-
co-sign that. Here's this question.
Ask him.
So people are obsessed with the concept of freedom. Now, like on a basic level, in America, we pride ourselves on freedom. But what I would say is that people want financial freedom, because financial freedom enables you to just go where you want, do what you want. I always say that what most young people, because it's going to get harder and harder and harder and harder as you have a family and kids, but you should keep your overhead low and your flexibility high and your overhead low. Let me say it again. Low overhead and high flexibility, key to life. You're moving, you're grooving, you're going where you want to go. The more stuff you have, the harder it is to be flexible. So, ladies, I remember going to a music festival and asking girls at the festival, what do you want more? Like a experience, like with your boyfriend, or a gift from your boyfriend? Meaning, like he brings you new earrings, or he brings you new Rolex, or he brings you flowers, whatever it is, or an experience. You're traveling, you go on a trip, we go to the park. You're married, you've got a husband, so it's a little bit different. But let's start with you. What means the most to you when your husband buys you something or takes you somewhere? How does that work for you?
So yeah, again, in marriage, it's different because you have like, you wouldn't want just, I would like both, but I think more than anything is like the thought behind it. So if it's a trip, it's just the fact that he planned it. If it's a gift, it's the fact that it's thoughtful or something I might have mentioned. So I know that's not answering your question because you want one or the other, but to me, it truly is like the idea of planning it, and that there's like a mindfulness of like something I might have said I wanted behind it.
So you're more about the thoughtfulness and the
yeah, than the
mindfulness
actual.
of it.
But it does have to be a combination.
How about
After
you,
10 years, I need
Miss
both.
Dangerfield?
This
Would you rather?
This reminds me of the quote that says, like, I wish people could realize all of their financial dreams and goals, so they could realize that that's never what's going to actually make them happy. So I think for people, if you haven't had that type of privilege or that type of life, of course you're going to appreciate the gift more. But when you have that and that's just your consistent lifestyle, like, you're going to realize that isn't where happiness is truly derived from. So of course you're going to experience the effort and the experience more versus a gift. But I think it's contextual based on where you're at in life, because a lot of this is just dopaminergic responses. It's purely chemical. So it just depends on where you're at in life.
I've heard of dopamine. I've never heard of dopaminergic.
Yeah, like it's the dopamine induced
Amy,
response.
you got all the big words today. You know about the dopaminergicness?
First time I've ever heard this.
Amy.
But I like it.
Nat,
it's
for
true.
$100, spell dopaminergic.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I could even spell it out. It's okay. I was just
Nat, you want your man to take you on a trip or buy you something nice?
I mean, essentially, it's all a gift. If you ask me, if you're going on an experience, it's a gift that you get to go on the experience with who you're going with.
You want a $1,000 present that you can hold and touch, or a $1,000 trip where you go do something?
Or $1,000.
Or $1,000.
Or $1,000.
Pay that debt off.
And then you can choose what
I
to
would
buy.
say, I mean, for right now, since I'm in a place where I'm paying off my debt, I would take the $1,000. But if you're asking me like a trip or a gift, I would definitely say an experience. There's nothing that, for me, if you go on a trip and you have that experience, seeing the culture, the places, you're talking about all the places that you've seen, like you can't go just hand that into somebody's hand. So for me, an experience is way more valuable.
Yeah.
And
Malik, what about you? When you're going to take your girl something, you're going to buy her something nice, or you're going to take her on a trip? Do something cool with her?
Definitely experience. You can't buy those, really. Like a gift, I can get that anytime from the store, whatever, purse, whatever. But if you do an experience, like wow, like now the time, I feel like it's just more important to me.
But gifts are nice. I mean, I'm not knocking gifts. Don't get me wrong. Gifts are nice.
All the ladies are waffling. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. They're like, well, we kind of want it all, and we want the trips, and we want... Also take the cash.
I mean,
and
you don't
can
have
also
to
buy me a gift.
You don't have to live a life of scarcity. You can have it all.
Scarcity too.
I think it just depends. It just depends on what you want and what makes you happy. But it's the idea behind the greed. It's the idea behind the item. Like if you want a Lambo, go for that Lambo. It's not wrong to want a Lambo. I had like pictures of cars up on my wall like growing up, and like I dreamt of it, and that motivated me.
But that's the thing. I want to like just because words matter. Like not greed being the motivator, but like a goal, that is very different to me. Because like greed is always, that's like, would be, again, taking everything to excess. And like that word, I just don't like the connotation. So it's that idea of either financial freedom or it's your goal when you were young or whatever, the picture of it. I wouldn't say that that's greed, that you want that. I would say that's your goal and you know that it's going to take really hard work to get there. So you're just like working towards that.
I like using bad words. I like saying greed is good. Because it's like, wait a minute. And like Lambos are bad. Penny stocks are bad.
Getting offended. Tim's here, special guest.
Hey.
It's okay.
All right, relax.
I do not easily offend. I'm saying that
You just
words
got
matter.
offended.
I did not. I said
think
words
you did.
matter.
You need to watch the movie Wall Street. Greed is good.
Yeah.
I say that words matter, and as one of the 7
Michael
deadly
Douglas.
sins, I'm not going to say that I would be motivated by one of them. I would say that I can just change that language.
Listen, let's agree
for
to
me.
disagree.
Listen,
You don't like greed.
No.
Tim loves that shit.
It's
I am
also
saying
just human
that
nature.
in this context of this conversation, that's the word that I would use. He can use whatever word he wants. I am not
Goals are
offended.
good. How about this? Goals
Telling
are
me
good.
I'm offended pisses me off.
Goals
But you're gonna offend me.
Goals are good. Motivation is good. Like whatever picture you want. Like I think social media can be used for very good purposes. Like I always wanted to go. I'll give you an example. Giraffe
Late
Manor.
on
the-
I don't know
on
if
the
you've seen
call.
Giraffe Manor, where you can feed giraffes
Yes.
through the
Yes.
window in
Disney,
Kenya.
Yeah.
I think we have that.
So literally, this is where I went with like Tarzan a few years ago. But I had this picture up of like feeding giraffes through a window in Kenya. I was like, this looks
Goal.
amazing. I had the picture saved. I eventually made it happen. I took a bunch of friends.
But did it happen if you didn't put it on social media?
I mean, I try to post transparently about my life because I want my life to inspire
That wasn't a
people
trick question.
to-
I'm actually. Did you actually?
I think about these things. Like I think social media, I post to inspire like my followers and my students. I also use it as bookmarking for me. I think that goals are really good. Like you should aim high, you should dream big. There are studies that show if you have a big goal as opposed to a small goal, your daily performance increases 15 to 20%.
Well, this is actually a good question. Do you have that
agree.
video, Malik?
Yes, I do.
Play it real quick, and then I'll ask you, ladies. Would you rather your boyfriend buy you a nice little earrings, or something cool, or would you rather do something like this with Tim, with your man? This is actually how I heard about Tim. Is he was doing this kind of stuff with Tarzan, hanging out in what country are you
This
in?
is in Kenya.
In Kenya.
Yeah.
And you funded this trip. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that.
Well, this was a charity trip, so we had a little fun. These are free giraffes, actually.
Yeah,
They
and
just
that's our
come every
friend, the
morning
real
for breakfast.
Tarzan,
It's amazing.
that our mutual buddy.
And we did a documentary on the rhino poaching crisis in South Africa. So we did South Africa and Kenya and Seychelles all together. It was a beautiful trip.
Wow.
But experiences like this, like
Yes.
you learn
You kill
so
the audio,
much.
Malik.
Right.
It's not just like the experience itself; it's the education. Then
Right.
you learn about giraffes, you learn about Kenya, and it just all.
So then
grows.
here we go. Here's the question, ladies.
Yeah.
Let's get to the heart of the matter. And by the way, you can say earrings. Would you rather new earrings, new jewelry, new purse, new Birkin, do your thing? Would you rather be in Kenya feeding giraffes with your man? What would you pick?
No, I'll take the trip and I'll buy the bag
You'll
myself.
take the trip. Oh! They're always going to waffle. You pissed her off. We
No.
said greed is good. We pissed Laura
I
Padrinos
said
off.
I will go on the trip with my husband, and I said I'll buy myself the bag.
But if you could only have one,
I'll go on the trip.
you are pissed and I love it.
I'm not pissed. You're poking a bear.
I am.
You're poking a bear. You're gonna.
Nat, you going on that trip? You feeding giraffes or you sitting
I'm
at
not
home
licking
with
the
your
giraffe,
new
though. That was
outfit?
Because it's a
disgusting.
charity
That was too
event,
much.
and
That
that's
was
on
too
my
much.
list of
I
things
just
I
fed
want to
him.
do.
I
I
just
would
fed
do
him.
that
Why do you
because
got a
that's a
tongue
charity
stick?
event.
That's a
Now, if
crazy
you're
tongue.
asking me like, do I want to go and feed some giraffes or get a pair of earrings? I'd probably get me a pair of earrings.
Okay.
Oh, Nat.
But
Watch
because
out,
I
y'all.
just said,
And she
I just
said it
said,
with her
but
chest.
you didn't listen to what I said.
No, nobody
I
ever just said you want the
because
earrings.
I just said if it was a trip that I was going to do a charity work because that's on my list of things I want to do,
Yes.
I would do that. But if you're asking me like, hey, do you want to go feed some giraffes in the hot outside? Like, no, not really.
In Africa?
Good.
You want to ride on an elephant? You want to
No,
pet a lion?
Not really. I'd probably be screaming. I'm like,
Well,
the tongue.
all right. Well, we got to get you some earrings. Amy?
Say
You trying to
it.
go to the outback, hang out with the kangaroos? You trying to go scratch some koalas?
That's just the everyday.
just what you
Not
go.
gonna
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
gonna
I
do.
wanna
You
do
feeding
that.
giraffes or you
H-O,
want a new
baby.
pair of earrings? What are you going with?
My ears aren't even pierced, baby.
Oh, wait. Natalia, you see that?
I'm sorry. I don't really
Amy
like
just
to...
said you're being materialistic
I
and
know,
selfish.
that's okay.
That's what she said.
Greed is good.
That's what he said.
Tim just said.
Anyway, guys, this
There's
episode
no wrong
today,
answer. It's all motivation.
I can sell my earrings and go on a trip.
This episode is sponsored by Minnect, where you can connect with each one of us. And if you want to get yelled at by any of these ladies, find us on Minnect.
I knew you girls were gonna pick the earrings. I'm like, no.
Anyway, good job. Thank you guys.
I didn't know
Greed
we were
is
going on
good.
Bravo.
We all saw that movie.
Oh
Anyway, let's move right along. We got a couple more subjects, topics. So let's move right along. Hopefully, Laura Padrino will join us with a good attitude because she's been mad at us all day today.
I love it.
Let's talk about basic financial education. We're talking the stock market. We're talking trading. Everyone's like, yo, bro, I've never even taken a money class. Okay? So here's my question for you guys. By the way, pull up this article. Pennsylvania has now mandated personal finance courses. So now more than half of U.S. high school students will take a personal finance class before graduation following the passage of a new Pennsylvania law. So thank you, Pennsylvania, for doing that thing. But by the way, they're the 25th state to pass this legislation. Starting in 2026, you can remove that. Thanks. PA schools are providing mandatory financial literacy for high school students. That's great. 8 states now guarantee that students will have to take a a personal finance course. And 17 more states are implementing these policies. So I say this all the time. We went to high school. We all took the same useless classes. You might agree, you might disagree. You're taking, the ABCs. You're taking algebra. You're taking biology. You're taking chemistry. They had me taking wood shop. Brother, the chance of me doing wood shop. Tim, I don't see you doing wood shop either. I need you day trading.
That is hilarious.
But no money classes. No money classes. Why no money classes? It's good to see our country is basically saying, oh, you know how that money makes the world go around? Well, welcome to capitalism, United States. Let's teach these motherfuckers about some money. So it's good to know that they're doing that. So here's my question for you guys. These courses are going to cover earning, income, spending, saving, credit scores, investing and risk analysis, insurance, everything like that. Here's my question for you guys. In high school or even in life, have you ever taken a money class or personal finance course? Amy.
Yeah, I'm just really lucky. I met some really good people. The time I got into the foreign exchange market, I met some incredible people who really put me on in some major ways. But going back to school, absolutely not. And I think there's a deliberate attempt to make people financially illiterate. They don't want financial literacy because, again, going back to what we talked about last week, Patrick Bet-David's post, there are people who make $90,000 per year who have more in savings, investments than people who even make $500K, who are just, spending willy-nilly. So I think at the end of the day, it comes back to financial literacy. You don't need to be a millionaire, but just learning the basics of saving and investing will put you so far ahead compared to the average person.
Laura, did you ever take a personal finance class in high school or in college?
Not in high school or in college. I took Financial Peace University with our
church. Dave Ramsey?
Dave Ramsey.
Okay, when did you do that? In the church?
Yes.
Okay.
But no, not in high school. I think it would definitely be helpful. But I also think woodshop is helpful. I don't think you have to do it, but I just like like what he was talking about that you didn't like it.
Well, now you're gonna piss me off, Laura.
Well,
because you're trying to say that cutting wood in woodshop is just as important as learning about money.
Let the woman speak.
Let the boy watch.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What I was saying is the idea of money classes, possibly a wood shop, possibly whatever other ones, even drama or a speech, something where you can speak in front of other people. I think just being a well-rounded human being is good to be taught in schools. Money absolutely being one of them, but I'm saying
you got kids?
I do.
How old are your kids again?
5 and 8.
5 and 8. They're little guys.
They're little.
Boy or girl?
2 girls.
2 girls. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you want your girls
to know about
taking
money
wood shop?
No, but
or
Adam,
money class?
Okay.
If they can pick one.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, but what I'm saying
wood
is for guys.
Or money.
I'm saying for guys to take
but you
wood
have
shop
2 daughters.
because I don't want you to be a beta man. Okay?
That's fine.
I want the girls
That's a great point.
I want the girls to do home ec, okay? So that they can know how to fix something and the guys to do wood shop. So and do money.
No,
classes.
they gotta do money.
So now you're gender appropriating people. You're saying the boys
have you
have
guys
to
seen
cut
that
the wood?
episode of South Park where everyone's rich but they need some handymen to actually come in and do
No,
work?
because
and it's completely
the
depleted?
guys are all
If you have
beta
money, you
because
can
they
hire
can't do
somebody to
anything.
do that.
Yeah, but that's the problem with this. Watch that South Park episode.
You can. Of course,
You want a
can hire
man that can
people.
bring home the bacon and also chop the wood out back.
I don't need no chocolate.
You're if wood shop
Buy
is just
some wood.
chopping lumber, like I don't know what school you went to. You went right down the street, so I don't know what you're talking about. But no, the idea of you can fix something, that you can change a tire. Maybe they should learn, like, teach you how to do that.
Not
Change
in
a
wood
ti-
shop, though.
Well, here's what I would tell you.
Random, like, be a man stuff, be a woman stuff, like, learn how
Laura,
to be, like, a good,
number
well-rounded
one,
person.
I think you understand I'm poking the bear a little bit. Number two, I think it
well,
is
I'm
incumbent
roaring right
on
back.
most men to know how to change a tire, screw in a light
Right.
bulb,
Yes.
use a screwdriver. I get
Okay,
it.
Build
but
a
not everybody
birdhouse.
does know how.
But
Sorry.
whether you're an accountant, whether you're an engineer, whether you're a scientist, whether
I'm
you're a
sorry.
construction worker, whether you're laying pavement, whether you're working in STEM, or basically working at a garbage truck,
You do need
there's
to know
one
how to do
thing that's
money.
uniform that all these
Yes,
people have.
sure.
And it ain't wood shop.
Yeah.
It's understanding how money works. That is imperative. It is
I
it is
am
the number
saying
one
that's
thing
important.
no matter your career. Now, I will say this is a whole different conversation we're not going to have. Most people don't need to go to college. You can go to tech school,
Right.
you can go to trade school, you can learn how to become an HVAC guy, a
University.
plumber, learn your stuff. You don't need to go drowning in debt to learn that,
absolutely.
hey, you don't need a journalism degree to basically use your phone.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I'm not saying money classes are not important. I'm saying it's very
You know,
important.
okay.
I'm just saying I would like classes in general to well-round the child, and then maybe you don't have to go to trade school because at least you got a little bit of a foundation.
Did you take home ec in high school?
We didn't. That my school didn't.
That's why you don't know how to cook. That's why you had to go buy some restaurants.
First of all, second of all, and furthermore,
You hired
you are
people to
just.
do it
You
with
don't even know. You don't even know if I
It's a good
cook. You're
allocation
just
of your time.
saying
I like that.
Oh my
You're
god.
hiring chefs. You two, you rich elitists are the only people that have private chefs.
I hate.
Tim's got a private chef. You got chefs galore.
I don't have a private chef,
We have
but
more
I don't
time.
mind being called a rich elitist. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
That's funny.
Call
what
me
happens.
1%.
Capitalist.
so
though.
funny.
You're a
Yeah,
rich
yeah.
capitalist.
I'm a
That's so
capitalist
funny.
monster.
Great. Me too.
I completely agree with you there. I think you made a really good point.
Thank you.
You're
Personal
just,
finance
you're just
in schools.
pandering to the audience.
No, I'm not. Because no, she's absolutely right. Because listen, at the end of the day, there's a scientific study that shows that when you make over like 125K per year, it doesn't make any difference to your happiness. As like assuming you don't elevate your lifestyle to be equal with your income, and you have more than enough to pay your bills and be fine and get through life, like you're gonna be happy. But what are the actual values and skill sets that are gonna enrich your life and that of the people around you? And it's coming back to exactly what she just said. For women, home economics, and for men, actually being a man and knowing how to actually.
All right. Here we
Yeah,
go.
but still,
Well,
you
let's-
still need that financial literacy. Imagine you're in a
No.
world and you know how to cook, you know
It's
how
not
to build
mutually
whatever, but
exclusive. Yes.
the
No
literacy
or.
is very, very important because even as a woman, you marry a man who takes care of the bills. As a woman, you should still know how
100%.
taxes and credit and
I'm
things
saying
work because
and,
as
not
kids,
or.
It's
I
not
wanna be
mutually
clear.
exclusive at
And,
all.
And
Yeah.
not or. I'm just saying don't poo-poo on
Tim,
shop.
let me get to Tim. Tim, you want to jump in this cat fight? You want to just sit this one
No,
out here?
so personal
Yeah.
finance in schools, it's a good
Yes.
start, but it's going to be a joke. Like 70% of mutual fund managers don't even beat the S&P 500 every year. So what are we going to teach in schools that you can't learn online, that you can't learn yourself?
Yeah.
I get it. It's a good start. At least schools
Yes.
are moving in the right direction. But still, you don't need schools. You don't need college. You don't need high school. You need online education. The world has changed in the past decade. People don't even realize it. Just in the past few years, online education with videos, with new technologies, it's all going to be interactive with the Apple Vision Pro. Who knows where it goes? Like, embrace that now. I wish that schools start teaching online. I wish that like recess was just like 2 hours to go on social media and learn.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not gonna go there, but okay, Tim. But
If you
I
use social
agree
media the right
with
way.
what you're saying. But the fact is, can't you just still teach in school like don't get into debt? Like I think people just they turn 18 or even younger, they get a credit card and they don't understand that like debt is bad. Like
You should
that's
have
what
the
I'm saying.
basics. You should know the
That's what I
basics.
mean.
You
is
took
the
Financial
basics.
Peace University. You had Dave Ramsey or one of his affiliates say, "Debt is dumb,"
Okay.
and they said that to you. And you know what?
But
These guys
before-
are right.
Not
They're
nothing.
right.
No, look, I'm saying I did that because you asked me if I'd ever did. I did, but I've never had debt because I that was.
Want to know
model
why?
behavior.
Because it's dumb.
Okay.
I just like saying that.
And I'm smart. But no,
Anyway.
that's what I'm
funny.
saying is that in high school, it doesn't have to be so, profound.
Right.
It's just like,
It's good
hey,
to learn
look,
the basics.
Don't go deeply into debt. Don't spend more than you make. Hey, try to save. Like those, that's what I'm saying.
I would
like that
choose
level.
a personal finance class over like a biology class or a chemistry class. Like, I don't know if
Any
you
day of
remember
the
like the
week.
Bunsen
No, or-
burners.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
ever play with like
No, or
Bunsen
all
burners?
They had my
Yeah.
ass dissecting frogs.
No,
they had
me-
me cutting wood.
no, I'd
Not
They had me with beakers,
but you don't know
and
how to
some
balance
sort
the
of goggles.
checkbook.
I'm like,
That's
guys,
the
I'm
thing.
trying to make some freaking money.
Get
out.
rid of the Bunsen burners. Start learning how to like balance your
all the
checkbook.
math stuff. That is where it's just like absolutely not. I hate all.
There
of
should
that.
be more applicable classes
Yeah.
in high school and college.
Totally
I
agree.
think we can all agree, not just in finance, but just like actual things that affect your life.
That
like
and that is what
90% of the
my
classes don't.
100%. And that is what I'm saying. My daughter's school does do that. Like they do
That's
drama
good.
from when they're 3 and 4 years old because they're learning to like be in front
That's
of people
great.
and not necessarily perform but project and look at people in the eyes, all that kind of stuff.
Confidence.
Yes, and be able to honestly to be able to speak in front of a group, it's massive and a lot of
But
people.
have them do that drama free.
You know the number one
girls won't be drama.
country for financial literacy is actually Denmark. We're number 14. Of all
Thank
the
you,
countries.
Nat.
Isn't that crazy
You
to
just
think?
Googled that?
No,
Penny-
I
Penny
Googled it
stopped me.
earlier, but the reason I say that is because we're a country that we have all this opportunity, capitalism, business, and we're number 14 when it comes to financial literacy, which is a little disturbing because it's like, how do
then
we
we're
have all this
spoiled.
opportunity, but we don't have any background of knowledge to support it?
We're the richest, most successful country, but we also have like the sloppiest, like
Yes.
most degenerate people
Yes.
because we're so rich and it's
Yep.
like
Yep.
everyone's so rich and we
100%.
have all this freedom and we don't appreciate it. This is why I love going to third world countries.
Yes.
You get perspective and you're like,
Perspective.
whoa,
Yeah.
now you see how
Let me
good
tell you who
have it.
America is.
Yeah.
Okay? America is that fat, rich, sloppy king.
Oh.
And he's the king of the world, and he's, oh, get me more wine and more wenches and more food and more turkey. Did I say wenches? Because I want them all. And like he's just fat and he's sloppy and he runs the whole kingdom. And nobody's going to fuck with the king because, you know, if you should come at the king, you better not miss type of thing. Nobody's messing with the United States, but it's becoming clearer and clearer that we're getting fatter and sloppier and gayer for that weird matter. We're getting fatter and sloppier and
wenches
weirder. And we got to
that
just
wood
clean it
shop.
up. I talked about what my whole extremes were. I don't like people who are too tight ass and I don't like people who are too sloppy.
Right.
Clean it up, America. And that starts with you and your finances and you looking in the mirror.
That's literally the thing I found. If you go down, you'll see U.S. is 14. That's the top 10. Denmark, Sweden,
Yeah.
Norway, Canada, Israel, UK,
Yeah,
Netherlands.
all these white people.
Hey, it's
Anyway.
okay.
And then if you go to like computer literacy, you're looking at like China and India. Like we're falling behind on so many
many
different
things.
topics. The good news is because we have the wealth, we can change. Like we have the ability
Yes.
to hire better teachers,
Correct.
to structure our programs differently.
And how do
A
you
lot of
hire?
countries can't go up in rankings because they don't have the money. We have the money. We just need to be guided.
Well, here's
in
a
the right direction.
conversation I want to have right here.
Awesome.
And it has to do with salaries and how much money this guru says that the average person should have to basically be in the position for financial freedom. So let's have this conversation. So there's two parts right here. So Americans are demanding more than ever. The desired salary for new jobs is nearly $80,000. Okay, this is average.
I know.
So it factors in people who are starting their careers and people who are in their 50s. All right, so $79,000 to be exact. American salary expectations for new jobs has reached an historic high, with the lowest annual wage that accept now starting at 78 grand, according to the data from the New York Fed. Okay, this marks a significant increase from $72,000, which was July of 2022, and it was as low as $62,000 in July of 2019 before COVID. So
Right.
thanks Bidenomics, thanks COVID. It used to be 62, now it's 79. Notably, and here's the catch, so I get you're gonna have a lot of like 22-year-olds entering the job market. They're like, yeah, I want 80 grand.
Yeah,
Relax,
I know.
bro.
I know.
Notably, those older than 45 with experience, typically men, expressed the highest salary desires, with men seeking an average of $91,000 compared to women's $66,000. So, you know, this is a whole gender wage debate,
gap.
all that, wage gap. We can do that.
No thanks.
So we talk about the average salary and everything that the Fed is doing to basically curb inflation. Jerome Powell, we know that story. And then there's this clip right here from our friend Kevin O'Leary, basically saying, great, that's awesome. You want to make 60 grand, 70 grand, 80 grand. But would you believe the amount of money Kevin O'Leary says you need to have in the bank in order to be comfortable? He gives this quote right here. You have to get to a place where you have, you know what, let's just let him say it himself. Can we do that, Malik?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Volume.
To get to a place where you have $5 million in the bank.
To be comfortable.
Because you can survive the rest of your life no matter what happens, and your family. You can take care of a lot of people making 6 or 7% of $5 million. When you make that, you have to set that aside and you don't risk it. Then after that, you can start to take risk capital and put it to work.
Okay. So
That's a lot of money.
Super simple. You just need
I have a
5
lot
million.
of work
Exactly.
to do.
Not
Listen,
everyone
guys-
gets paid 15 million
listen,
by
guys.
FTX.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he got paid by FTX. Exactly. We can have that conversation. But so on one hand, we're having conversations about people wanting $60, $70, $80,000. You know, it's a big dream to make 6 figures. That's a big deal. All right, cool. But then you have someone like Kevin O'Leary is like, yeah, you need to get to a point where you have $5 million. Okay. Now, there's going to be certain people on this panel that are going to say, dude, that's completely realistic. I get it. I'm working on that. I already have that. And there's going to be people out there watching that are like, bro, I got $5 to my fucking name. Go fuck yourself, Kevin O'Leary. There's polar opposites. But I understand what he's saying. There's like, you know, as they shoot for the stars, you might miss, you land on the moon, what have you. But $5 million, you know what percentage, by the way, guys, you guess? What percentage of Americans have a net worth of $5 million? What percentage you think?
Infinitesimal, like, I don't know, less than 1.
Well, less than 1.
0.5.
0.5?
A little less than 0.5.
Okay.
I'll say 1%.
Okay, 5%.
5%?
4.7 have a net worth of $5 million.
Where are they?
Wow.
Oh, are you including real
Where are you
estate?
guys?
Including everything.
But that's real
everything.
estate. I think,
Yeah.
like, you know.
4.7%.
Oh, okay.
If
By
you
the way,
include your
guys,
real estate, people are living in $1 million home. That's cheating.
true that.
That's
guess,
cheating.
I guess.
So
Yeah.
most people, we can agree that that number is a lot less. Just
If you have $5 million
liquid
in savings,
cash.
it's very different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally
Is
Is your
different.
business
Totally
worth
different.
$3 million?
I guess that's
But
what I
anyway,
was thinking.
most people don't have $5 million any way you slice
Yeah.
it. Is all we're coming down to.
Yeah.
I think
So,
any kind
Tim.
of 7 figures is good.
Yeah.
Fully agree. So when you hear these numbers, all right, people want to make 60, 70, 80 grand. You're telling Kevin O'Leary's basically saying, hey, you need $5 million. Make some sense of all this.
I think that it's good to have a job. It's good to have some consistent money coming in, whether it's, you know, your own business, whether you're an employee, whether it's passive income, just to provide for yourself and your family, like basic living expenses. But at the same time, like, try like risky assets, a little small slice, try starting something online. It doesn't have to be investing. Like I wouldn't give money to anybody. I want to do it myself. But if you're going to do it yourself, realize that most small businesses fail, most traders lose. Like it's a tough game.
Yeah.
So that should push you to study more. Like every single person should be investing time into their education. Every single night, you have an extra hour, 2 hours. Stop watching so much Netflix. Stop playing video games. Stop going out to the club so much because we're all running out of time. This is one thing that like we haven't talked about. Yes, the life expectancy is up a few years. We can live into the 70s now, maybe in the next few decades into the 80s, but we're all running out of time. So you have a limited window to learn as much as you can. But the good news is because we know that most Americans and most people are like sloppy and lazy, you can really get ahead. Like it's amazing to see what you can do with just a little effort, and as that effort compounds, as your knowledge compounds. So I would try to make, you know, the 60, 70, 80 grand, that's cool. But even if you're making 30, 40, 50 grand with the upside, let's say you have something that might take 5 or 10 years to really build up. Like if you're investing in your trading education, most of my top students, they don't really succeed until year 3, 4, 5. So you can't judge how you're going to do in year 1 or year 2. So like there's all these different like time segments and money segments, and you have to think about this very, you know, just go nuanced. You can't just be like, my goal is to make this much per day. Because if you invest time and money into your education, it really builds several years out. And so you should have like a 5 and 10 and 20 year plan.
Yeah, fully agree with the long-term plan, long-term vision. That's with anything. That's with work. That's with your money, or that's with your career. That's even with social media. I say this all the time, that everyone starts at zero. So why is social media, what's the analogy with social media and money? Is that everyone starts at zero. Everyone starts with zero in the bank. I mean, you started with 12 grand, you turned that into $1 million. Most people are starting social media, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Snapchat, whether it's TikTok, you start at zero. Same with your bank account. Everyone starts by zero. But the whole goal is to develop a long-term plan, and whether it's follower by follower, whether it's dollar by dollar, whether it's brick by brick, shout out to the brick builders out there. You want to increase your status, and you want to increase your net worth, and you increase your way in the world. But nothing's going to happen overnight. Everything's going to come with putting in work. That's why my 2 favorite words in the English dictionary are work and earn. Because if you put in the work, you'll earn the right to have more followers, more money, more clout, more status, and it puts in the work.
Compounding?
Compound interest.
Okay.
Tim Sykes wants to throw in that compound.
But
That's not a four-letter word, Tim.
But this is the thing,
So
right?
yeah,
where
but if you compound
what if you have, let's say you have two strategies where you're trying to build, I like your social media analogy where you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 followers, but then you build something where you're like, let me work on, let's say, a photo or a video or something where if it gets picked up by the news or if you're designing a game, right? And something that could pay off in 3, 4, 5 years where it'll look like nothing in the first 6 months or 1 year. So it's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm spending all this time and money on an investment, on a big idea, but it could pay off huge in the long run. You should have that kind of long shot working for you. And it's different for everybody. It's whatever interest you're, what you're really obsessed with. Like people need to get obsessed with their education. I got obsessed with, traveling. I got obsessed with cars at first. I got obsessed with charity. I got obsessed with the stock market. Obsession is good. And I think that too many people, like if you're taking like a basic personal finance class, you're going to learn some basics. And people like this general information like, oh, let me do my 10,000 steps in a day and I'm going to get jacked. But it's like very basic general stuff. If you want to get jacked, like you have to do like high intensity workouts. I'm not an expert at this.
All right, guys, we're gonna add one more.
jacks?
We like work, we like earn, and we like compound, and we like wood shop.
Are you getting the eye roll?
Can you pan
getting
in the eye roll?
Zoom in.
Are you getting the?
By the way, check out
eye
Padrinos
roll?
Cuban food restaurant. It's the best. They got the best chefs. She's got many chefs.
Oh my God! They're not personal.
Well, they should be. All right, guys.
Come to my
This
house
has been
and-
awesome. This has been a spirited debate. Amy, you had to use the bathroom, so
No,
you know the rule.
Please, no.
No, Amy.
No.
You did the rule.
Adam.
You have to dance.
Adam. Do a little something. The only dance move I can do is
Stand
the
up
worm,
and
and I
dance,
can't
woman.
do it.
You don't have to do the worm. We know the rule. Guys, it is now time for what I call the happy ending. We all know it. We all love it. You all want it in your life. This is where we're going to have a little heartwarming heart-to-heart here. So, guys, everyone just kind of bring it in for a second. This is the ending. This is the good
Are we
stuff.
going to hold hands?
We're not going to hold hands because, but we can. We can. You want to hold hands real quick?
Kumbaya.
All right, kumbaya.
Fingers are so
So I
long
always
and
say
dainty.
this. We talked about saving money and investing money and taking classes and learning, whether it's the president, it doesn't matter what's going on in your house. It doesn't matter what's going on in the White House. You got to focus on your house. I walk people what I throw. By the way, you can connect with me on Minnect. I can walk you through here. But I walk people what I call the 6 principles of wealth. And every single, I believe in the KISS principle. You guys know what the KISS principle is?
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid. Not everything is that overcomplicated. So I believe in the 6 principles of wealth and the 3 pillars of life. The 3 pillars of life to me are health, wealth, and happiness. What's happiness? That's having meaning and purpose in your life and not just talking about it, being about it, okay? Do your words align with your actions and being congruent? Cool. 6 principles of wealth. There's a basic situation for this. It doesn't take that complicated thing. I'll walk through the 6 principles of wealth. Number 1, okay? Have a game plan in your money. A lot of people call that a budget. Number 2, make sure that you're not losing money or losing the interest rate. That's debt. We talked about getting out of debt. Number 3, and I'll say this to the day I die, save that money because you can't become an investor hanging out with Tim Sykes and the millionaire crowd unless you actually save enough to invest. Then you can start investing, and we talked about everything that comes with the game plan of investing, whether that's low risk, medium risk, high risk. We all talked about that. Number 5 is protecting your wealth, whether that's with trust, estates, insurance, all that protect your wealth. But the reason you do all that is to get to number 6. And number 6 is what I call chilling. And chilling is when you own your time. You can do whatever you want with your time. So it used to be a term called retirement. You had to be 65 and you got your lunch pail and your Rolex and you worked at the company for 40 years and that's it. It's retirement day. You get to go home and you live in your rocking chair for about 5 years and then you die, and that was what retirement was. Now things are different. You've said that things have changed umpteen times. You don't have to go to school anymore. You can use the internet. So I remember when I was 25, I was broke as a joke. By 35, I was a millionaire. Holy shit, I'm chilling. I own my time. I can work from anywhere. I can do anything I want. All right, let me choose what I want to do next. So chilling is when you own your time, what you choose to do in your free time. Now, I ask people what they want to do if they can own their time. If you don't run out the door every day, run off to work, do what you want to do, everyone has the same 3 or 4 answers. Everyone. Number 1 is they want to travel. Who doesn't want to go see the world, explore the world? Number 2 is they want to work on something that they're passionate about. something that they would do absolutely for free, right? For some people, it's cooking. For some people, it's wood shop. For some people, it's stand-up comedy.
Oh.
So for some people, it's anything they want. A violin. Everyone has that.
Violin.
The third thing is you want to give back and you want to donate your time and you want to be a philanthropist in some regards, right? I know that's something that's really big for you. And the biggest thing is having a legacy, whether that's through family, whether that's through a company, whether that's through philanthropy. So I want to know what your guys' definition of chilling is, like what you would choose to do. But specifically, Tim, you've been very big in the philanthropy world, right? So here's what I know about you, and this is you trade for charity at this point. You do an online course where you teaches people about the stock market and penny stocks. You've created 36 millionaire students and 2 new ones this year, right? That's cool. That's awesome. You're filming a documentary about plastic pollution. Over the last couple of years, you've met many celebrities, including Leonardo DiCaprio, doing that kind of stuff like that. Save the Reef, is that what it is? Okay. You travel the world. You put together a group of people that can clean dirty areas. So you're clearly living your chilling phase, right? You're building schools. You're modeling houses. You're doing all this stuff. 118 schools, 13 homes, 2 recycling centers, and a soccer field, just to throw it in there. And this was a weird one that you gave $1 million to build schools in Ghana. That's not so weird. But you also donated to the relief effort in Yemen during their civil war. So we see what's going on in Yemen these days with these Houthi rebels. That's a whole nother thing.
It's crazy.
Makes some sense. Why is giving back great to you? Because where you're at right now is you're doing all 3 things in the chilling phase. You're traveling, you're seeing the world, you're giving back, but you're also super passionate about this. So tie all this in. Like, what age did you become what I call chilling, and what have you done with that?
I mean, it's just in the last like 5 or 6 years, like when, again, like you kind of like reach the top of the mountain where I've achieved all my financial goals with my family, with my personal finances. I had all the toys, and then it's like, what's next? And I got, frankly, a little depressed. Like I was drinking a lot. Like I was like, this is boring. Then I started giving a little bit. I didn't start, 118 schools at first. It was like 1 school. But I was like, oh, this feels good, And then I was actually in Laos, and, I was supposed to donate $250,000, but I loved the whole village, and it was just a beautiful moment. So I was like, we're donating $1 million. And everyone's like, ah. You got to do what makes you happy. And for me, it's like giving back and then also sharing it on social media. Like my charity, it's called Karmagawa. We have 1.5 million followers on social media. So talking about these issues. So now I donate and take photos and videos, and that way we get, more fundraising. In fundraisers like Yemen, I donated $500,000. We also did a fundraiser, and we raised $500,000 just for helping the kids and a lot of, people who were starving. So I think you have to always ask yourself what motivates you, whether it's Lambos, whether it's, woodworking, whether it's travel, whether it's giving back, whether it's taking care of your family. It literally is anything. And for me, giving back has made everything so much better. I'm working harder than I've ever worked before because I'm more motivated. Like the stock market gets very boring after you see enough penny stocks come and go. Like I just see so many BS promoters and so many BS trends, and I'm like, okay, here's another one. And I'll profit from it, and I'll teach other people to try to profit from it. But at the same time, like, you need meaning. And meaning is something that we haven't really discussed that much. Like, it's like numbers, and I get it, like you need to, deal with your living expenses and stuff like that. But if you can add meaning to it, it's a whole nother energy level. Like it's amazing.
It's so funny that you use the word meaning, because Amy, tell this story.
Oh, well, we were debating over which title to go with today. And so I think it was like money versus mission, money versus purpose, and then money versus meaning. And then all of us, Humberto included, were all like, meaning.
Like the word meaning. Yeah. That was great.
I think money and meaning go together. Like if you can add money with meaning, then it's like a superpower, right? And that's the thing where it's like, especially then you add like social media, and then it's like rocket fuel to your superpower. So it's like, everything is amplified. So like we've built 118 schools total worldwide, but 52 in Bali. But we've also brought like influencers and content creators to Bali, because Bali is a beautiful place, but like they've come to the school openings, and the charity that we donate to there that builds the local houses and the local schools, Bali Children's Project. They never built any schools before us. They would give like books and stuff like that. So we built 52, but because our influencers and creators are tagging them, they've built 48 on their own. So we basically doubled the donations just by sharing it online. And this is the beautiful thing with social media. Like you follow Karmagawa, a lot of people follow this. And like we do, you know, fundraising, 100% goes to the charity. I just personally like fund the expenses, which gives me meaning.
So we had this whole debate, you know, when you have all this money, would you rather, you know, buy stuff? Would you rather give back? It's become clear and clear that the extra Lambo in your driveway did nothing for you, but building schools and giving back and donating your time has been the giving you the most meaning on earth.
The extra Lambo actually did something for me because it brought me here. So like people always want to just go like forward, like, oh, perfect choice, perfect choice, perfect choice. Sometimes you have to go a step backwards and be like, wrong choice. And then you have to correct that wrong choice, and that leads you to the right choice. I never would have just come on charity like at first. I never would have been like, oh, I don't want any of my childhood dreams. I want to give it all away.
You learn from your experiences. You learn from your losses. It's a weird way.
You learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to.
Exactly.
But could I also say it's also probably a little bit of your upbringing too, because a lot of rich people will just try to fill that hole with a bigger next
with
toy.
A
You know,
third Lambo.
Shout out to mom and dad. Like that honestly says so
parents.
much about your upbringing. The fact that that's what it kind of redirected you to.
Well,
People are afraid of their mistakes and their losses. You shouldn't be. Like we talk about going forward, we talk about like financial education. Learn from your mistakes, learn from your debt, and be like, I never want to be in this place again. Let me do what I have to do to not be there. Like, but remember it.
By the way, you're an absolute stud, and I appreciate you. And I want you to give a shout out to the people in a second. But you know what's better than learning from your own mistakes?
Learning from others.
Learning from other people's mistakes.
100%.
So, you know, you heard it here first. The second Lambo didn't fulfill and give meaning to Tim Sykes.
Right.
But, so you were nice enough to now donate one of your Lambos to, no, I'm just kidding.
I have no Lambos. I sold all. No, I sold.
What do you guys?
Look, I sold all my cars years ago. That's what helped launch the charity.
But that's not even something you can learn from somebody. You would have to experience the second Lambo to know that.
But sometimes you need to experience that, right? Like you have that emotional scar. I still remember it when it got delivered, and I was like, why don't I feel anything?
Yeah.
Tim,
that was messed up.
Respect to you. Respect for introducing us to the money and the meaning and all this. Look in that camera right there. Tim Sykes, let the people know where to find you. Let the people know where they can donate to any charity. Let them know where to catch you. Because he's going to be on Minnect soon, too, by the way, guys.
Just go to timothysykes.com. It's my website, at Timothy Sykes on all the social media. And my charity is called Karmagawa, Karmagawa.
Respect to you, Tim. As always, these lovely ladies are here. Amy, tell the people where they can find you.
Hey guys, you can follow me at Amy Dangerfield across all platforms, specifically YouTube. I'm about to be dropping videos every single week, so I'll see you there.
That a girl. Laura Padrino, my feisty Cuban friend, my wood shop amiga.
You gotta drop that. That is not cool. Padrinos.com, at Padrinos Cuban, and I'm not that feisty.
No, you are. It's okay. Own it. Spicy. It's okay.
Yeah, that's me. Meow.
Spicy. By the way, check out Padrinos. By the way, put Malik, make sure to put Padrinos down there. But anyone in South Florida, go check out Padrinos. Tag myself and tag Valuetainment. If you go see Padrinos Restaurant, there's how many locations? 5 locations?
5 locations.
Where are they located?
Houndsdale Beach, Dania Beach, Plantation, Fort Lauderdale, right here down the street, and West Boca.
If you go want to have the best Cuban food in Miami, go check out Padrinos.
Thank you.
Tag me in that. Sauce Talks Money. Tag Tim Sykes as well.
Yeah.
You might win a Lambo. You never know. Or fruit trim to Africa. Thank you, Laura Padrino, and everything that you do. Malik, how you doing? Any big news out there? Any poll results you want to say?
Yeah, we have a lot of poll results actually. So the main one I really want to point out, most people in here they actually don't invest in the S&P 500. Another one I was asking people how much.
Give us stats though, baby. Give me.
All right, so 42% said they do invest in the S&P 500. So that means 58 do not. I mean do.
Okay.
Do not vote in the S&P 500. My apologies. As far as how much debt people are in, majority of people said they were in less than 5K. In debt.
Okay.
It's about 60%.
What percentage of people?
Yes, 60%.
Okay.
And then another one that was very interesting, the most valuable between a trip and materialistic gifts. Most people said trips is more valuable. And then 52% have claimed that they have taken a financial course. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Cool.
I think financial literacy is very important. But also my main takeaway from today, Tim made me be more accountable about education. Like I said, I want to learn more about stocks and finances this year. And now I got to do some homework. I got to put more time into it. I can't just type in financial whatever on TikTok and then watch like 10 minutes and that'd be it. I got to go on YouTube, go down a rabbit hole a little bit.
2 hours every night.
On 2x speed. Let's go.
There we go.
4 hours.
It's called the Tim Sykes Challenge. You got it.
Got it.
Any other polls?
Those were the best ones. A few of the other ones were just kind of small and minor.
Who's Miss Pennystock?
Yeah, exactly. What did we find out with Miss Pennystock?
So in the beginning of the show, most people voted Amy to be Miss Pennystock.
Okay.
And I believe that still holds to be true.
Okay.
To the results.
Well, you want to do a poll?
And I didn't run that poll, recent poll yet. But
Tim, why don't you pick?
No, it's the audience.
No.
Nat wants to be Miss Pennystock.
No, I want to know what the audience
I need to get a crown.
Okay.
I wasn't
We're
prepared.
on the poll right now.
I
We'll
didn't
get
know
that.
you were going to bring
Anyway,
up a
the
decade-old
audience,
thing.
unfortunately, Nat, I'm sorry, they selected Amy Dangerfield
Dangerfield.
to be Miss Pennystock 2024.
Good job.
You know, it did help that she used the word we never heard of before. That was
Trailing stop loss?
No.
trailing. No, I've heard of trailing.
Dopamigenic?
Dopamigenic. I mean, when you're using words like that, it's hard to compete.
Okay.
But here's where I'll give the happy ending. Nat, is there any final words you want to say?
No.
Okay. Scale of 1 to 10. How bad did you want that Miss Pennystock?
No, I'm happy she won. I always like, at the end of the day, these are like learning experiences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's important that the audience gets to have that kind of learning perspective. So I'm good.
I'll
I'm
send
happy.
the crown.
You know who
You
you're
have a
going to be?
crown.
She's going to be Miss Pennystock. You're going to be Miss Dollar General.
Wow.
We got you.
No, I'm good.
You're good. What's wrong with this? Better than a Pennystock. Anyway, guys, thank you, Tim Sykes, for being here today. Thank you for dropping knowledge. Thank you for dropping investing knowledge, money knowledge, philanthropy knowledge. Thank you for bringing your awesome parents here. Thank you, Padrinos. Check them out there, Cuban food. Thank you, Nat, for doing what you do. Thank you, Miss 2024, Miss Pennystock, Amy Dangerfield. And thank you guys for watching. If you want to connect with anything that we do over here, if you want to get better with your finances, you want to get better with your life, you want to have a bigger vision, you want to figure out what your chillin' is and what the bigger meaning and mission of life and purpose is, you can find me on Minnect, and that's where we're doing all this stuff. We'll be back next week for my birthday show. You know Nat's going to be bringing all the guns and the... Not the guns, the stuff that you bring, the poppers and the shooters.
Get your ears ready. I know you're
get
getting
my
a little,
ears ready.
honey.
We're going to be drinking, and whoever connects with me on Minnect and references this, you're going to get a free shout-out on next birthday show where we've got a big thing going on. Special guest will be on that show. Can't announce it yet, but we'll see. Stay tuned. Next Thursday, 4 o'clock, same time, same channel. Thanks for being the SOSCAST.
It's the SOSCAST,
Thank you, Tim
baby.
Sykes. Thank you guys for being here. We're out.
Great job. Take a photo?